the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:02. I'm Manda Factor, and here's what's happening. A house fire exploded on Whidbey Island yesterday, destroying 2 homes in Green Bank. 3 firefighters were hurt. All 3 are in stable condition. 2 men are dead after a float plane hit a power line over the Columbia River near Kennewick yesterday. The Franklin County coroner says crews recovered both bodies from the water. A Seattle police officer is suing the city, claiming he was punished for attending the January 6th rally at the Capitol. The Seattle Times reports a minor crash investigation was turned into a dishonesty finding, and he was suspended for 30 days. And Garfield High School welcoming back NBA All-Star Brandon Roy as its new boys basketball coach. The school introduces him at a news conference this afternoon. It's 5:03, time for a check on your early Thursday drive, and for that we say hello to Chris Sullivan.
Morning, Amanda. We're doing really well, as you would imagine. Not a lot of action out there so far. If you're driving southbound I-5, you might see a little late construction cone pickup right past the express lanes as you work your way down to 85th. They were just wrapping that up a few minutes ago. As they were cleaning that up, they had the left lane closed overnight for some maintenance work, but overall really not much action around it. 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle, 35 Everett to Bellevue. 35 as well, Puyallup to Renton, not much action up the Valley Freeway as of yet, and Renton to Bellevue is quiet. Olympia to Tacoma is nice and easy at 30 minutes, and then Federal Way to Seattle's about 35. No issues across the lake either. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
It's now 5:04. In this morning's Start Here program, a look at the Flamingo Revolution in Albania. Here's ABC's Brad Milkey.
It would probably not shock you to know that in other countries, there are massive, angry protests involving the role of the United States. Maybe you're thinking about Iran, Gaza, Cuba. But some of the most furious protests right now are in the tiny country of Albania. Albania is a coastal nation in the Balkans. It's right across the Adriatic Sea from Italy. In fact, it's basically looking at the heel of Italy's boot.
We feel betrayed. This shouldn't have happened.
We are here to ask the government to surrender.
These protests are not because of war or sanctions or even an official Trump White House policy. Rather, they're about a business deal involving Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. At least, that's how they started. Now they've exploded into something much larger. ABC's foreign correspondent Patrick Reevell recently went to Albania to see these demonstrations firsthand. Patrick, what is this place? How did this all start?
Hi, Brad. Well, this really started with a dream of President Trump's daughter, Ivanka Trump, and her husband, Jared Kushner, to have a private island resort on an island off the coast of Albania called Sazan and on a neighboring peninsula. And about 5 years ago, according to Ivanka's own account, which she's given on a few podcasts,
we were on a friend's boat and we stopped for a swim. Effectively, that's how we found it.
And they saw this beautiful island in the blue waters of the Adriatic Sea, and they swam to it and were completely captivated by it.
Over the course of many years, we developed the opportunity to help realize its potential and transform it, but with a lot of restraint and care because the land is so beautiful.
And so from then, they say that they pitched the Albanian government that they wanted to build an eco-resort there that was going to be worth billions of dollars. It's estimated that it could be as much as $4 billion. But the problem is that that island is a protected nature area.
What was that meaning that she just discovered an island? It's our island.
And what we saw in the past month is huge protests break out in Albania.
You were upset by that video where Ivanka says that she discovered the island.
Of course. That made us very angry.
It was in true colors of what imperialism in America stands for.
Because of anger over how that project was going about, a feeling that it was going to be a development in a protected area and that the government was basically ramming it through in an untransparent way.
And we heard Ivanka Trump. That was on the David Senra podcast last month. But have you been to this place, Patrick?
Yeah, so we went to this island, and I can tell you it was very nice. It's very easy to understand why Ivanka Trump was captivated by it.
You can see the waters here, just this beautiful turquoise color.
It's a beautiful island that's about an hour by speedboat from the coast of Albania. It's not completely unspoiled because for a long time, when Albania was still communist, it was a major military base. So there's quite a few ruined military buildings on it. So this used to be housing for the military officers. It's absolutely riddled with tunnels and a lot of bunkers. But because it's been semi-abandoned for a long time, nature has kind of grown wild there. What makes this island special? The nature. The nature is what makes it special. There are a few boatloads of tourists that come each day, but in general, it's very easy to understand how someone could fall in love with it, because it is an extraordinary, beautiful place in a kind of sleepy corner of the Mediterranean.
And these protests then have really evolved over the last few weeks, right? Like, what did protesters tell you about what this has been about?
So the protests first began when private security guards suddenly fenced off part of this land and did it in quite an assertive way with men in black masks. And they were filmed being rough with some demonstrators. And that caused real outrage in Albania and sparked these much larger protests. These protests became something much bigger.
There are people out again, as they have been every night for more than 2 weeks. They're chanting for the Prime Minister to resign.
And they've become dubbed the Flamingo Revolution, and it's named that because there are wild flamingos in these protected areas that this resort is intended to be built on.
If you could speak to Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner, what would you say?
Hands off. Albania is not for sale.
Albania is not for sale.
But one of the things that people were really very adamant about and really wanted to emphasize to us when we were there was that this is no longer really about Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. This is about how the Albanian government has been going about developing the country.
We don't have transparency about this project, nothing at all. We know that this investment is not really in our good, for our good.
And they feel that this is emblematic of broader corruption in Albania, and also it is about giving some of the prized land of the country to foreign investors and to a wealthy elite who've been ruling the country.
It doesn't need any luxury in it. It's already precious to us.
And I think there is a lot of anger about inequality in this sense that we live in a new gilded age and that people can swoop in and say that we want this land even if it's public.
What are they shouting?
It's the end for you.
It's the end for you.
Yeah,
that's what they're shouting.
We know that the Prime Minister of Albania defends this. He says that it will bring billions of dollars to the country, that the country needs to develop. And Albania has benefited a lot from tourism. And one argument he makes is that instead of having mass tourism, which destroys the environment, you need projects like this, where you will have more money coming in from fewer people because it's a luxury resort.
The Prime Minister has obviously said that this project will bring billions to Albania, that it's good for the Albanian people.
At what cost, firstly? Secondly, to whom Albanians? To oligarchs?
But importantly, there are also now growing questions about how some of this land was obtained, because there are growing concerns that it could have perhaps been obtained by some of the investors in this project fraudulently, and that it could have been provided by someone who is currently being investigated for ties to organized crime.
What is the response from Ivanka Trump and from Jared Kushner about all this?
So we reached out to Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. We were forwarded to a public relations company who in turn provided us some statements from a company that represents the interests of the investors. And they said that basically they want to develop this project for the good of Albania, that it will be not only a business but also will be good for the environment, that they are taking extraordinary care working with the top architects and engineers to try and create a resort that will be both beautiful but also eco-friendly. And they also say that it's only in the planning phase, it's still in the design phase, and that people shouldn't jump to conclusions. And they also say that they are not involved in this land dispute and they are not part of any investigation at the moment.
But I guess, Albania is not the only country, Patrick, where American billionaires, not just the president's family, but lots of different business interests, or billionaires from all around the world are lining up for these types of development projects. So I guess I'm wondering, are we going to see flamingo revolutions in other countries besides just one Balkan nation?
So you're very much right that this is a familiar story and even involves some of the same figures who've been in similar situations, including linked with Jared Kushner before. There are two Qatari billionaires involved in this deal who were lobbying to build a Trump-branded golf course in Syria. And we've also seen another Balkan country, Serbia, lobbying to have Trump-linked projects. And so there is suspicions, and we heard this allegation made in Albania, that also authorities in these countries see this as a way to reach out and please President Trump, to try and build relations with the Trump administration by offering members of his family extraordinarily lucrative business opportunities in these countries. And so again, there is this mixing of business and diplomacy, it appears, in these situations.
And resentment then from average people in whatever country they are. All right, Patrick Reevil, really interesting reporting. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brad.
It's one of the most incredible things about humans, our ability to adapt. But I do not like it when other species do it. Oh, jeez. Oh, God, there's nothing in... This is me on my Brooklyn sidewalk, nervously examining one of the many rodent bait stations on my block. They're big, they're black, and they've got these rat-sized holes in them with little pellets of poison inside. I'm never wearing sandals on this block again. Well, recently, researchers from Rutgers examined rats and mice from New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia and made a disturbing discovery. This poison is not working as quickly on the mice as it used to. You remember learning about Darwin, right? Survival of the fittest. With every generation of any animal, some have slight gene mutations. But if those gene mutations help them survive, they're more likely to produce offspring with those same mutations. Eventually, they become the norm. Jinjia Yu from Rutgers told our Philadelphia ABC station, WPVI, that these mice have gradually grown more resistant to our poisons.
They show a much higher mutation frequency than we thought before.
Now, in some ways, this study is a confirmation of what exterminators have been saying for years.
It used to work right away, but what's happening is it's starting to take longer for the application to work. That's what we've been noticing.
Terrell Williams runs a pest control company in Philadelphia. And you might be saying to yourself, okay, make a stronger poison, right? Well, new poisons take years to develop. Not only do you have to test them on mice, but you have to weigh them against risks to other animals who might pick them up. The best course of action, of course, is to prevent mice from getting into your house in the first place. Williams says he's borne witness to another finding from this study, that we're not seeing these genetic mutations in rats necessarily, but it does seem they're quickly learning to navigate traps.
They're getting smarter by the day. They're just ignoring the traps and going over them.
That's right. They're somehow passing this knowledge about traps to each other. So just to recap, mice are mutating, rats are getting smarter, and humans seem to be equal parts skittish and, well, amazed.
Great news. ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:14. Check on our forecast. Finally cooling off a little bit. Cloudy. We'll see some rain move in late today. 69 the high. Tomorrow, rainy and breezy. 64. Overnight lows in the low 50s. Scattered showers on Saturday and Sunday now, with highs in the mid-60s. Right now in Seattle, it is mostly cloudy. 57 degrees. Coming up, a breakdown of progressive victories in New York City. More from Brad Milkey on part 2 of the Start Here program coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Hi, how can I help?
Well, my husband and I feel like we've outgrown our current money manager.
I see.
Our lives have changed, and we need something more than just mutual funds to help us in retirement.
She's right.
I hear that often. At Fisher Investments, we'd start by getting to know you, your finances, family, health, lifestyle. We tailor a portfolio around your goals and needs.
Sounds good.
Can you help with estate planning?
Yes. We have a team of specialists who can help you with estate planning, Social Security, investment income, and more. We'll get to know your whole financial picture and help keep you on the path to a comfortable retirement.
And your fees?
We have a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
I feel better already.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
It's now 5:19 on this morning's second part of Start Here. ABC's Rick Klein explains the primary elections in New York City this week to host Brad Milkey.
This past Tuesday night, we got results from primaries in several states. Usually, we're focused on the most powerful offices, right? The governorships, the Senate races, maybe a House race if it involves a big surprise. But perhaps the most interesting political story of the week was unfolding within the confines of New York City. Mayor Zohran Mamdani was not even on the ballot, but he really emerged as the winner of this election, because in the face of more senior Democratic stalwarts, he had backed several upstart candidates, most of whom proudly identified as Democratic socialists, and all of them won. Now, if you don't live in one of these deep blue congressional districts and you're not voting in these local races way down the ballot, who cares, right? But this is the thing. There was already a fiery argument among Democrats about what it will take to win elections this fall or a couple years from now. This dumped gasoline on that conversation. So with that, let's go to Rick Klein. He's ABC's Washington bureau chief, but more importantly, he's a New York boy. He's from Long Island. So Rick, walk me through these results. Where were the biggest statements made?
Well, let's start with Mayor Mamdani himself. People are calling him the king of New York. He certainly is a kingmaker. He took a bold stance, which is to take on the Democratic establishment. He's only 6 months into this new job. That surprised a lot of people he was able to do that in the first place. And rather than say, okay, I'm going to work with the Washington folks, including Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leaders in the House and Senate, who happen to be New Yorkers themselves, he said, you know what, I'm going to run a slate of candidates, people who are, for the most part, are political outsiders, some of them first-time candidates, people like Claire Valdez, who's actually a state lawmaker, but she is someone that associates with the Democratic Socialists of America.
My name is Claire Valdez. I'm an assembly member. I'm a union organizer. I'm a Democratic Socialist.
Brad Lander, a former comptroller. The most controversial of the group, Darializa Avila Chevalier. Now, she is a first-time candidate, never run before, a Democratic Socialist. She was involved in some of the Columbia protests, and she had harsh words for not just Republicans, but lots of Democrats. She said really bad things. She even called Joe Biden a rapist at one point. I mean, this was someone that had her history really scrutinized, and there was every reason to think that, you know, despite whatever you think about Mamdani, hey, look, the voters in New York, they tend to like their establishment people, but he went 3 for 3, and it means it's a flex of muscle for him. I think it's a signal about where the Democratic Party and in more liberal aspects of the Democratic Party is right now. And it means that Mamdani is going to get a bunch more friends and allies and like-minded folks in all likelihood in Washington.
Yeah, and they were taking down these names that are well known, at least within New York, right? But like borough presidents and incumbent congressional members. But then, Rick, part of me thinks, okay, fine. So Democratic Socialists won in New York City. Big whoop. What does that have to do with Saginaw County, Michigan, or Easton, Pennsylvania? What is the significance nationally for you?
Yeah, it's a terrific question. And yes, you're right. 2 out of the 3 of those brought down incumbents, entrenched incumbents in those cases. But I was reminded about what happened in 2018, which is 8 years ago now, a long time ago, which was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez similarly shocked the political universe by defeating a member of leadership on the Democratic side, Joe Crowley, in a Democratic primary. And at the time, everyone thought, wow, look at this storm that's building. Well, here we are 8 years later, and the Democratic Party did not nominate a Democratic Socialist in 2020. They went with Joe Biden, the ultimate moderate centrist. And then we lived through another term of Trump. And at the end of all of this, you could still fit the self-described Democratic Socialists in Congress in a mid-sized SUV. Now, what's going to happen now? They may have to upgrade to a minivan. We're not talking about a tidal wave. We're not talking about a sea change of representation. These are still smaller pockets of the party, and we've seen other primaries in places like Iowa, in places like North Carolina, in places like Texas, where there were more left-leaning progressive candidates out there, and voters didn't necessarily go in that direction. The problem for Democrats potentially is you do get defined by the extreme.
I think the voters sent a message to Republicans in New York's 17th congressional district.
Brad, our own Jay O'Brien caught up with Jeffries in the halls of Congress just yesterday and asked him what it would mean for him as he pursues his efforts to become House Speaker.
They rejected your candidate, sir. Is that a message to you?
No, I'm going to continue to stand up for every single House Democrat, every single one.
Do you become the party of the far left, of the Democratic Socialists, of Mamdani and AOC and Chevalier? Or do you say, look, we're just different in different parts of the state? The Republicans are certainly going to want to make it look like there are 200 Democratic Socialists in Congress, even though there's probably going to be about 5.
But you're saying then, Rick, to more of these leftist voters, they're like, hey, where did going safe, where did that get us in 2024 or something? So this could galvanize the far left.
I think that's the clear message, is that going safe and, just finding the playbook that has worked for decades in the past for Democrats does not seem to work with the most engaged members of the party. The people that vote in Democratic primaries, or Republican primaries for that matter. This is, a lot of ways, a mirror image of what we've seen in Republican politics. First the Tea Party and then the MAGA movement, insisting on some kind of ideological purity, a loyalty to certain issues or certain people, and that has changed the nature of the Republican Party. It feels like a similar reckoning is happening inside the Democratic Party, and it is driven by that real frustration by the status quo. We don't want this candidate shoved down our throat. We don't care that this person's been in Congress a bunch of times or famous on cable, or in another case in New York, we don't care if it's John F. Kennedy's grandson running. People are saying, look, if socialism means standing up for the working class and making things more affordable, then sign me up. And that's been the appeal of the Democratic Socialists of America, who had a very big week in New York, as they have in other places over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I was even thinking about the news of the Labour Party the other day in the UK, where Keir Starmer, he was seen as the safe guy. And yet you got a lot of people who are like, well, we don't want him. And now he's having to step down because, at least members of the far left would say, that doesn't get you any extra points. People aren't valuing safe centrist stuff right now. They're valuing bold policies. We'll see if that's true. Rick Klein in D.C., thank you.
Hey, thanks, Brad.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey. 5:25, the cool down is here. Only 69 for today. Cloudy all day, rain late. So we'll see a rainy, breezy day for your Friday tomorrow, 64. And it looks like scattered showers for both Saturday and Sunday, more so on Saturday, highs in the mid-60s. It's 57 and cloudy in Seattle right now. And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has this week's Tech Talk, a look at the use of drones during the World Cup matches, here on Seattle's Morning News.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Deep to right field. Going. Goodbye, baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a view that's a real home run, check out right field. Make that the dump yard. Sure, it's a great spot to see our fearless outfielders fly, dive, and slide.
Wow! Victor Robles makes the catch!
But you might get to flash some leather too, because the forecast in the dump yard always calls for rain. Raining big dumper home runs, that is.
Number 60, the magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss next week's Cal Raleigh Funko Pop giveaway. You have 3 chances to score this one-of-a-kind collectible as the Mariners take on the Angels, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at T-Mobile Park. The first 10,000 fans at each game will head home with this must-have Funko Pop. Lock in your seats today at Mariners.com. That's Mariners.com.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see. They know. They hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about soccer. Serious passion, inhuman stamina, and yet exaggerated injuries. Soccer is one of the few sports where overtime is a little subjective. One thing we know is that many fans enjoy game day with craft brews. Be sure to keep a clean sheet. It's not worth trading in those bicycle kicks for riding your bicycle to work. When being pulled over for DUI, there are rarely yellow cards, only red. So play it safe and don't go off sides. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to schedule your free private consultation. If you're stopped for DUI midfield from home and there are no free kicks, make it your goal to call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in-store and online. It all ends July 4th. Staples. That was easy.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:31. A house fire on Whidbey Island blew up yesterday. 3 firefighters were hurt. 2 homes are gone. Central Whidbey Fire and Rescue says it happened in Green Bank on Smuggler's Cove Road. 2 chiefs and a firefighter were caught in the explosion just after they showed up, all 3 in stable condition. 2 civilians may have been hurt, too. They drove themselves to get checked out before crews could reach them. Federal ATF agents are now trying to figure out what happened. A 24-year-old man is presumed dead after disappearing at Alder Lake in Pierce County yesterday. We get the details from KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker.
The sheriff's office confirming he fell off a paddleboard near the middle of the lake without wearing a life jacket. Deputies say the man's girlfriend witnessed the tragedy, called 911 at about 4 p.m. So far, the victim's body has not been found. The search continues. The Marine Service Unit is investigating.
2 men are dead after a float plane hit a power line over the Columbia River. The Tri-City Herald reports it happened yesterday afternoon near Clover Island in Kennewick. The Franklin County coroner says both men on board died. Crews recovered their bodies. The plane flew into a wire that crossed the river, dropping the plane and a live line right into the water. Downtown Seattle was flooded with blue and white as Bosnia took on Qatar for a surprise win yesterday. KIRO Newsradio's Jillian Raftery was there.
There were high hopes.
You know, we need a win today.
And then there was the reality of the blowout 3-1 victory.
We smell like beer now because the celebrations were throwing beer at everybody.
For a team born out of a war-torn country that gained independence just 30 years ago and is only making its 2nd World Cup appearance, it was a stunning milestone. In Seattle, Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Next match in Seattle tomorrow. A popular Ballard oyster bar is back open in the middle of a labor fight. The Walrus and the Carpenter reopened yesterday after a short closure tied to a worker strike. According to a social media post, the restaurant is now sending guests to a back entrance to avoid the picket line. That door opens right from the private parking lot off Shilshole Avenue, the usual ways on Ballard Avenue. The restaurant says security will be on site. It's 5:33, time for a check on traffic once again, and for that, here's Chris Sullivan.
Enjoying a good drive so far on this early Thursday morning. A little bit of braking at the north end of the 167 corridor, approaching 405, but really nothing to worry about. It's only 35 minutes total from Puyallup to Renton, and Renton to Bellevue's under 15, so the S-curves haven't activated as of yet. Olympia to Tacoma is only a half an hour, and then nothing through Tacoma up to Federal Way, and Federal Way to Seattle's all green on the map. That gives you 35 minutes on that trip. Coming down from the north end, slight hesitation right around the Boeing freeway there, 526. Again, that's just people getting off there on the westbound 526 there, but really just nothing. Overall, 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. A little westbound slowing across the trestle right there at the I-5 side of things, but again, nothing you can't handle. Lake bridges are quiet. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Quite a change in the weather. Cloudy today. We'll see some rain late today, 69 the high. Overnight lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow looks like a rainy, breezy way to wrap up the week, 64 for your Friday. And then the weekend, it looks like the best chance of seeing showers is Saturday. Sunday, about a 20% chance of just isolated showers, nothing too major. Highs will be in the mid-60s. Right now it's cloudy and 57 in Seattle.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
It's 5:35. After 2 arrests for violating Seattle airspace and the FBI arrest of a local man in connection with a terror plot at the White House, drone security is turning heads at the World Cup. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey explains why drones are emerging as one of the biggest concerns for law enforcement and security experts. Here's today's Tech Talk.
During last Friday's World Cup match between the U.S. and Australia, Seattle police seized 11 drones and arrested 2 people for violating the FAA's 3-mile no-fly zone around Lumen Field during game days. Then, that same day,
if it wasn't for the intervention of law enforcement, I do believe they could have carried out a mass casualty event at the White House.
U.S. Attorney Charles Neal Floyd announced the FBI arrested a group of men, including a 21-year-old suspect from Mason County, on suspicion of plotting a terror attack targeting the UFC event at the White House using drones armed with explosives. Both scenarios reflect why, for months, federal and local law enforcement have been planning security and defense preparations aimed at preventing potential attacks.
From the highest level of our government and the beginning of all the planning for World Cup, that's been a major focus.
I recently talked with Melissa Swisher, Chief Revenue Officer for SkySafe, a company that specializes in detecting, analyzing, and acting on drones that enter a specific airspace. She first explained,
they're fast-moving, they're inexpensive.
And that speed means old ways of detecting potential criminal activity are now obsolete. In other words, if you see a drone flying toward fans,
you've already waited too late to respond effectively.
Because
they don't respect or care about road closures or perimeters. And essentially that's a gap, right? There's this new category of threat that's actually entering the airspace.
The Department of Homeland Security spent more than $100 million on counter-drone measures ahead of the World Cup, with close to 1 million travelers visiting Seattle during games. Swisher says that concern isn't just about someone flying recklessly near a stadium. It's about finding who might be flying that drone and why.
So the entire game about this is detecting the operator and the drone before it becomes visible.
Federal and city officials haven't said exactly what technologies they're deploying, but companies like SkySafe are now developing systems ranging from drone detection software to radio frequency tracking to lasers and other counter-drone tools. Swisher says many cities, including World Cup host cities like Seattle, already have strong coordination between law enforcement and emergency management agencies, but we asked her about a potential worst-case scenario, like an attack unfolding.
It's not without the realm of possibility. I mean, there could be no threats whatsoever, and then all of a sudden there is one.
She says it could be a matter of time, and cities need to begin planning as if an attack could happen.
Do I think a drone's going to go over a stadium and blow something up? No, I don't. But I think what you're going to continue to see is that evolve. But I think that we're going to be prepared as we go into that next phase.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with today's Tech Talk. The Postmaster General faced tough questions on Capitol Hill yesterday about a new proposal that could restrict mail-in voting. Here's ABC's Peter Haralambous.
Under a newly proposed rule, the Postal Service will refuse to deliver mail-in ballots in states that don't hand over a list of approved voters to the Trump administration. Postmaster General David Steiner told the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee on Wednesday. Democrats lambasted the policy during the hearing, arguing the rule was unconstitutional and a, quote, backdoor way of trying to influence this election. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
Might want to check your junk drawer. An old coupon could be worth some new money.
3 years after filing for bankruptcy, Bed Bath & Beyond is on the comeback trail. The retailer is planning to open nearly 24 locations nationwide through a partnership with the Container Store. And if you've held on to one of those Bed Bath & Beyond infamous blue coupons, you could win big. The chain says it will still honor its old coupons. In fact, it's looking for the oldest surviving coupon, part of a contest for a home transformation. Dave Packer, ABC News.
One of those new stores is coming to Bellevue. Coming up, your political insights from ABC's Dave Packer. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Our first Mark Challenge victory is Aaron McCoy from McCoy Home Solutions, yet another small business owner that took the First Mark Insurance Challenge. Aaron, why did you make the call to First Mark Insurance?
My company has grown to a space where we need a higher level of coverage. A couple of factors led me to say, boy, I really need to find something new, and First Mark really rang that bell.
First Mark save you and your business money?
Oh, yeah. They have decreased overall expense in a couple categories by up to 30%, coverage in a couple of areas by greater than 50%. They've offered coverage in 2 new categories that I think are pertinent for my business, and they've greatly impacted what that coverage and those margins look like.
Kind of wish you made the call earlier.
I absolutely do. Yeah.
So if you're a small business owner that wants to take the stress of insurance off your plate, do what Aaron McCoy did for McCoy Home Solutions. Make the call to First Mark Insurance. They're your teammate that goes to work for you. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. These are your political insights from ABC News. Holding housing hostage. President Trump backing off at the last minute Wednesday, not signing the bipartisan housing affordability bill passed by Congress. Trump saying Congress first needs to sign the Save America Act, which requires photo ID to vote. The president downplaying the housing bill.
Low interest rates will solve everything. We'll solve that. Now, despite that, we're doing well with housing.
Passing with a veto-proof majority, the housing bill will become law without the president's signature in 10 days. Trump visiting senators on Capitol Hill Wednesday, miffed about 4 Republicans who broke ranks to vote for an Iran war powers resolution. GOP Senator Bill Cassidy was among them. There was shouting. Cassidy.
And so I make no apologies for standing up to the president, if you will, trying to demand that more information be shared with the Senate and more information be shared with the American people. I make no apologies for that.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's 5:44. Our forecast, quite a change in the weather. Cloudy and rain late today, 69 the high, compared to yesterday's almost 90. For tomorrow, look for rainy, breezy conditions, 64. Overnight lows will be in the low 50s. Saturday and Sunday, we do have a chance of some scattered showers, more so on Saturday. Highs will be in the mid-60s with overnight lows in the mid-50s. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 57 degrees. Coming up, Washington is now more than $1.7 billion in the red on tort claim payouts. We'll hear more from former State Attorney General Rob McKenna next here on KIRO News Radio.
At Madrona Financial and CPAs, we believe there are 7 steps that must be taken in preparation for a successful retirement. Retirement needs more than just a basic income plan. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Jason Rance here. If your water heater is getting older, leaking, or running out of hot water, CM Heating has an affordable solution. Get a new gas or electric water heater installed starting at just $44.99 a month. With CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program, you'll get lifetime repairs and maintenance at no extra charge. Parts and labor covered for life. Plus, same-day installation is available in many cases. Schedule your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the Warehouse Club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs providers that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
We've discussed it before, and it continues to escalate. Ballooning legal payouts in Washington have pushed the state's insurance fund over $1 billion into the red.
Let's dive deeper into this with former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning.
Give us a refresher. How do these legal payouts work?
Well, these really large payouts, which over the last year have totaled about $500 million, are generally resulting from the actions of third parties, not the direct actions of someone in government. So, for example, if a child is left in foster care and something bad happens, then, because the foster parents do something bad and harm the child, the state is liable. On the other hand, if the child is not put in foster care and is left with the parents and something bad happens, the state is liable. So we're in kind of a strict liability regime. And look, when someone is harmed because of something the state does, there should be compensation. But, other states, in fact, every other state has some sort of limit on how much can be paid out. And yet in a recent case in Washington where 2 children were left in the care of their parents and harmed by the parents, the state settled for $80 million. So these enormous judgments are coming out mostly because of the actions of other people that the state is held liable for.
Can't help but notice it is one agency that is seeing many of these payouts, and that's the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. What is going on here if they are having to settle so many suits?
What's going on is that they are afraid that the judgments in court will be even larger if they go to a jury trial. There was a jury award of and I think I have this right. I think it was $130 million involving the death of a toddler who I think was in foster care. But they're worried about juries particularly in Western Washington, handing out enormous judgments, and so they're settling for enormous amounts to avoid the even larger judgments.
We're now $1.7 billion in the hole. Where's this money coming from?
It comes from the state general funds. So the way that these payouts are funded is that every state agency has a budget for legal expenses and for payouts. So they receive a certain amount in their budget, and then the amount in their budget for liability is transferred to a fund from which the judgments and settlements are paid. So that money has to come from somewhere. It comes from state budgets, but state budgets get their money from the taxpayers.
And the state budget is expected to be billions in the red. This can't be helping at all. What's the solution here, Rob?
Well, the solution is to take the approach that other states take. In fact, every other state I'm aware of. In fact, I co-authored a law review article about this very question back in 2005 when I was Attorney General. And I said, look, other states have some sort of guardrails on the amount that they can be liable for. And this is true for local governments as well, because local governments are being hit by these huge judgments and settlements as well. But we need to get rid of the open-ended waiver of what's called sovereign immunity and have a statutory scheme that defines the extent of liability for various government functions like children's welfare. I pointed out at that time that we were paying out far more. I think it was 6 times more than Massachusetts was per year at that time. And that was, in those days, a big year was when we paid out $50 million. Or $80 million. It's ballooned beyond that. So we need to put in some guardrails and put limits on the amounts that people can recover from the state, which is what other states do.
Rob, while we have you, yesterday at about 7 a.m., Charlie and I looked at each other and we were doing exactly the same thing. We were on SCOTUS blog, frantically hitting refresh to see what the Supreme Court was doing. Any decisions that came out yesterday that stood out to you?
There were half a dozen that came out, but frankly, they were all pretty narrow and technical. So I didn't see any that were really worth commenting on today. But we have some big ones coming out apparently on Thursday, some of the biggest decisions of the year. I think that may include the case involving the president's power to fire people in certain agencies. So apparently Thursday's the big day, and yesterday was just the tease.
And we expect to have something on birthright citizenship as well, right?
Yeah, that's one of the big ones that's out there. That might, in fact, be the last decision they issue. They tend to leave the blockbuster decisions for the very end. But I don't know for certain that this Thursday is the last day they're going to release decisions. They might release some next week as well.
Anything else you're watching for tomorrow?
That birthright citizenship case is sort of, the eclipse is blotting out the sun as far as its historic importance. But I do think that these cases about the president's authority to fire people from certain state agencies is really critical because, I've been worried for a long time that the executive branch is becoming too powerful. The president's becoming too powerful. These cases test the authority of Congress to put limits on the president's power to fire people. And we'll have to see if the court upholds those limits or upholds the president's power that has been steadily expanding over the last several decades.
And remind us, Rob, were the justices skeptical in their questioning over birthright citizenship?
Yeah, at the time, I think we talked about this actually. It looks like the president's attempt to end birthright citizenship is going to lose at the court. It could be a 5-4 decision, but I think it looked like at the time it would be more like 6-3 or maybe even more lopsided than that.
We'll see. Rob, we appreciate you always. Thank you. Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Those Supreme Court decisions we expect to start rolling out at 7 o'clock this morning. The Great American State Fair opens on the National Mall today.
From some musicians canceling to several states not sending official delegations, there's been plenty of controversy surrounding this event, but the organizers insist it is a nonpartisan celebration.
Tonight, as we stand on the edge of our 250th year of independence, I am thrilled to declare that America is back.
Kicking off the Great American State Fair, President Trump addresses a crowd on the National Mall.
This exceptional nation was forged and won by some of the bravest, toughest, strongest, most extraordinary people ever to stride the earth.
His remarks came after several musicians backed out of performing over concerns the event is too political.
I think it's going to bring a lot of people together, and I think that's what we need right now.
Organizers with Freedom 250, a group aligned with the Trump White House, say it's nonpartisan.
Well, they certainly have become politicized.
At least 7 state governments have opted out, many citing the cost of things like travel and accommodations for the 16-day event.
I'm fine with Oregon not participating. I know we're doing a lot in Oregon and recognizing the 250th anniversary of our country, but we don't need to do that with the Trump administration.
But organizers say all states will still be represented at these pavilions in some way. The event will also feature a Ferris wheel, rodeo, and more.
This is literal history that we're living through, and you're going to want to say that you were here.
The states opting not to send official delegations will often be represented by private businesses. The fair runs through July 10th. I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo, News Nation, Washington.
It's 5:55. A check on our forecast. Cloudy for today. We expect some rain to move in late today, 69. Tomorrow looks pretty wet, rainy, breezy, 64. And then just scattered showers for Saturday. Isolated showers on Sunday. Highs will be in the mid-60s both days. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies. It's 57 degrees. Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more on a scary scene on Whidbey Island yesterday. Also at 6:15, Sully has a choke point, a reminder on the dangers of driving on the beach in Washington. We'd love to hear from you this morning on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. That's 888-973-5476. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20-plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. At least 164 people are dead after 2 strong earthquakes strike back-to-back in Venezuela, and there are fears that the death toll could rise. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, speaking this morning, says search and rescue teams are already on their way from the United States.
The airport there is badly damaged, so we'll have to rely on the Department of War to deploy assets there.
And then we're also helping them with some overhead imagery, especially in coastal areas where they don't have full visibility over what the damage has been and what the impact has been.
The quakes measuring 7.2 and 7.5 have been followed by many aftershocks. Oil prices sliding back to pre-war levels with more ships going through the Strait of Hormuz despite threats from Iran. An NFL star is due in court today. Detroit Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold is facing robbery and kidnapping charges. He is accused of holding 3 men at gunpoint. A wildfire burning in southwest Utah could become the worst in state history. The Cottonwood Fire has already destroyed a ski resort. This is ABC News. President Trump kicking off the Great American State Fair on the National Mall last night because several musical acts dropped out, citing its partisan nature. The president said he would headline it, and on stage, he once again talked about what's become the topic du jour.
And the reflecting pool that you've heard so much about, which is so incredible, it's been gruesomely vandalized by thugs, bad people. But soon will be looking as beautiful as it looked just 2 weeks ago. In fact, I looked at it just a little while ago. It looks perfect already.
The president has been complaining without proof that someone slashed the bottom of the reflecting pool. In fact, there's been no indication of vandalism, even though several people have been arrested for it. Google will soon let more travelers get through airport security without taking out their IDs. The TSA and Google are expanding a program that allows travelers to use ID information stored in Google Wallet to go through security. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
6:02, here's what's happening.
Federal agents are investigating an explosion that leveled 2 homes on Whidbey Island. Luke Ducey will have details coming up.
A small float plane crashed into the Columbia River near Kennewick yesterday. It killed 2 men aboard. The Tri-City Herald reports the plane flew into a power line, dropping a live wire into the water.
And Ballard's Walrus and the Carpenter is open again, even as a worker strike drags on. Guests are being sent to a back entrance to avoid the picket line.
We check traffic every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, we're doing really well, Charlie, as we start this Thursday morning. We're looking at brake lights in the usual suspect locations, kind of building a little bit by most day standards, right where they should be. We're looking at about a 40-minute trip up the Valley Freeway from Puyallup to Renton. A little slowing down South Hill, but nothing like we saw yesterday at this point. And westbound 410's a little heavy into and through Sumner as people work their way through those ramp meters. Olympia to Tacoma, seeing a little bit of braking through Lacey, but we're under 40 minutes to make that drive to Tacoma. Better way to Seattle, about 38 minutes now. Renton to Bellevue, the S-curves haven't quite activated as of yet. We're under 15 minutes there. A little bit of braking through the construction zone north of 44th. Lake bridges are fine coming down from the north end. A little bit of slowing right by Marysville at 529. That's just the merging, but nothing really the rest of the way on down. Everett to Seattle is running about 35 minutes. Just over 35, Everett to Bellevue with brake lights through Canyon Park. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer presented by T-Mobile. Next up, the Patriotic Show, July 3rd. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. 3 firefighters are recovering after being injured when a home exploded on Whidbey Island.
We've learned there is still unexploded ordnance inside the home, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with details.
Yeah, there is a lot more to come with this story, and we're on it. We're asking all the right questions this morning. We're talking about 2 fire chiefs and 1 firefighter who were injured. They are in stable condition right now. They have no idea, though, why this house blew up. The ATF will be there this morning because they say there is still unexploded ordnance there at the scene. Now, if you're watching on our YouTube feed, we have a map of where this happened in the Green Bank neighborhood on Whidbey Island and a photo from firefighters of the scene. You can see just debris scattered across Smuggler's Cove Road. So someone called 911 to report a house fire yesterday afternoon. Moments after firefighters got there, the house just blew up. A second home then was destroyed when it caught fire. A third home was also hit by debris. All 3 firefighters from Central Whidbey Island Fire and Rescue and South Whidbey Fire EMS were rushed to a local hospital with blast injuries, and all 3 were last listed again in stable condition. What is a blast injury? Well, it could be injuries from debris hitting them. It could be ear damage, a concussion, gastrointestinal injuries from the concussion of that explosion. There's also something called blast lung, which are bruised lungs or an air embolism. Let's hope it's not that. That's an air bubble in the bloodstream from explosions. 2 other people may have also been injured, according to firefighters. So they say they don't know exactly because they took themselves to some kind of care facility or a hospital. But again, much more on this story to come. We're on it for you this morning.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 6:05.
A full transcript of Bill Gates' testimony before the House Oversight Committee regarding Jeffrey Epstein has now been released. It shows Gates told the committee Epstein was trying to blackmail him about his extramarital affairs. We get more from ABC's Aaron Katersky.
Gates said he knew Epstein was a sex offender, but hoped he would introduce him to wealthy people who could help the Gates Foundation. Gates said he met Tom Pritzker, Mort Zuckerman, and Leon Black. None donated, and Gates told the committee the Epstein brokered meetings were a dead end.
Gates also told the committee he resisted a social relationship with Epstein.
At the end of this year, some drivers may get a big price break for the tolls on Highway 509 and Highway 167. Details of the proposal being considered from KIRO Newsradio's Frank Lindsay.
Carl C., Deputy Director of the Washington State Transportation Commission, says the plan would cut tolls in half for people whose income is no more than 200% of the federal poverty level. So the annual household income for a family of 4 could be no more than $66,000.
Federal poverty level guidelines are commonly used to determine eligibility of many need-based governmental programs.
Like Medicaid, for example. If approved, the program could launch in December. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Commission expected to decide on July 21st.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
That cool air spilling in, a welcome relief.
Oh, walking out the front door this morning was like heaven.
Yeah. And I'm sure you went to bed last night. If you're listening right now, you don't have AC. It was broiling.
Yeah.
So we're going to cool down for a couple of days.
My car said 90 on my way home last night.
Yeah, I think mine was pretty close, too. Well, welcome to Seattle's Morning News for Thursday, June 25th. I'm Charlie Harger. That is Manda Factor.
Chris Sullivan is here watching traffic for us. Producer David Burbank in the studio, and Nick Crasha is at the board picking all the music.
Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
And Sully, what's your choke point today?
Well, the 4th of July next weekend falls on a Saturday.
Back it up.
Yeah, 4th of July. You know, it's an event that we talked about. This year is kind of a big one. Country's 250 years old. A lot of people are going to be heading to the beach, so I'm kind of reprising my rules of how not to ruin your vacation and others by getting stuck in the sand.
Nice.
So we're going to go over some driving rules, some tips, plus some advice for some people who spend their time volunteering getting people out of the sand down along the Long Beach Peninsula.
There you go. And you're not going to talk about youth e-biker gangs taking over major state roads?
You want me to? I will. I saw something yesterday that blew my mind.
Why don't we bring that up at some point today as well?
Yeah.
We'll also have Luke Ducey with this week's Tech Talk breaking down drone security at World Cup matches.
It's now 6:08. Oh, did you say World Cup matches?
I did.
Bosnia's 3-1 win over Qatar was much more than just a sports win, as we hear from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
I mean, we woke up at 6:45. We had coffee. We took the link to Pier 62, and we hiked to the stadium, and it was amazing.
Ina flew in from San Francisco, one of a huge group of Bosnia fans, all from the same city, Du Bois.
Marvelous, fantastic, amazing, proud.
These families fled the war in the 90s to England, Germany, and the USA, but they stick together, and they knew as soon as Bosnia qualified that they were going to follow the team as far as they can go.
We're all jittery. And we were all jittery, and then my dad, who moved here when I was 4 years old, he was crying the whole time.
30 years ago, Rusmir was a prisoner of war in a concentration camp. Today, he's ready to party.
Yeah, there are more people coming in, and probably it's going to be around 25 to 30 more people to join our party right now.
Just for the after party
Just for the after party, yeah. Just from one city in Boston.
All night long.
We're never going to stop until we got to the finals of this World Cup.
And if anyone's selling tickets to the next game, I know some Bosnian fans in the market. In Seattle, Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
And SeaTac Airport set a record for passenger volume 3 times in the last week because of the fans coming and going for the World Cup. In response, the TSA has enhanced airport security while U.S. air marshals are patrolling the skies for drones above Seattle Stadium, a.k.a. Lumen Field. The TSA's Adam Stahl says they've also seen an uptick in Kraft's new travel-sized bottles of ranch dressing.
We're seeing both companies and travelers take advantage of it. Again, it's all in good fun, and it really showcases the pride in America that we have, both at TSA, but also across the department, across the government.
There are 3 more games scheduled to be played in Seattle.
It's now 6:10. A 24-year-old man is presumed dead after disappearing at Alder Lake in Pierce County yesterday. We get the details from KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker.
The sheriff's office confirming he fell off a paddleboard near the middle of the lake without wearing a life jacket. Deputies say the man's girlfriend witnessed the tragedy, called 911 at about 4 p.m. So far, the victim's body has not been found. The search continues. The Marine Service Unit is investigating.
King County prosecutors have now charged a 15-year-old boy in connection with the deadly shooting of a 16-year-old girl. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Minglavin reports.
This happened back on June 3rd outside the Aliso Apartments in Kent. We are not naming the suspect because they're a minor. Prosecutors say those shots were fired after a meeting between 2 groups of teens described as members of rival gangs. The victim was in a group of teens hanging out nearby. Investigators were able to track the suspect down using video and cell phone records.
The boy will be back in court today.
More Washington children will have access to free preschool next year. The Department of Children, Youth and Families is adding about 2,500 new slots to its early childhood education and assistance program. The state-funded preschool program serves eligible 3- and 4-year-olds and currently enrolls more than 14,000 children across the state. Officials say the expansion will add services at 54 new locations.
As America looks ahead to its 250th anniversary, a pair of bald eagle chicks rescued here in Washington are getting a second chance in the wild. The eaglets were removed from a nest near live power lines and treated at Washington State University. Veterinarian Marcy Logsden had to help one of them out of its egg.
Emotions were definitely very high while I was trying to get that stuck chick out of the egg, and it's definitely unlike anything that I've done in my career to date.
After weeks of care, they've now been placed in a foster nest near Wenatchee, where adult eagles are raising them alongside another chick.
Nice. It's 6:12. Time for a check on our forecast. Oh, thank you. It is cooled off. 69 the high for today. We're going to stay cloudy. Rain moving in late today. Tomorrow looks rainy and breezy and 64. Overnight lows will be in the mid-50s. Saturday, it looks like the best chance of some scattered showers, 65. And then Sunday, parade day, isolated showers and 65. Right now in Seattle, cloudy and 57.
6:13 now. Let's go to Chris Sullivan for traffic.
And we have a little issue, looks like a stall on southbound 405 just after the 527 interchange. Was quickly blocking, but it looks like the person was able to move the car off to the right shoulder. But that's why we're seeing a little slowing there as you come through Canyon Park. We've got about a 40-minute trip for you from Everett down into Bellevue, 38 from Everett into Seattle. There's just a little braking past the Nile Golf Course. That's the Edmonds exit for those of you that don't play golf, coming down through Mount Lake Terrace into Shoreline. Coming up from the other end, we do have some braking through the Lacey area, but overall 40 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma is pretty good. Federal Way to Seattle's about 40. Also about 40 from Puyallup up to Renton. There's a little bit more action out of Auburn and at the north end, but really yellow on the map, not red, which means you're moving along in an okay clip. 512 down the hill. Little slow past the fairgrounds in Puyallup and a little westbound slowing on 410. That's become average this time of morning as people work their way to the valley. And then Renton to Bellevue's under 20 minutes. The lake bridges are fine. Tiger Mountain in great shape. A lot better than we were at this time yesterday. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan. I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, the 4th of July is on a Saturday this year. A lot of people expected to head to the coast to celebrate the country's 250th birthday.
Don't ruin the celebration by getting stuck in the sand and damaging your car, silly. Sully is here with some beach driving tips.
That also works. Don't do it, silly. Yeah, and again, this is because I've been driving on the Washington coast my entire life, basically. So I'm really used to this, and I get it. driving on the beach is fun. As you can see on our YouTube live video, I shot this a couple years ago. Well, I should say my wife shot it while I was driving down on the Long Beach Peninsula. And I put out this warning every 4th of July because many drivers just don't pay attention, or maybe they've never driven down on the beach. But after what I've seen over the last couple of weeks on the Washington and Oregon coast, it was definitely time for a refresher. Just last week, north of Seaside, I'm not sure if anybody's out there familiar with the Peter Iredale, the shipwreck that's right there in Warrenton, just south of the Columbia River. You can drive on the sand just south of it. There's an RV, like a full-on RV, that just tried to drive through the soft sand to get down there.
Silly.
It was stuck there for 4 hours and blocked access to and from the beach for everybody. In that same spot, later that same day, a large pickup truck parked down close to the clam beds, down close to the water, spent his day doing whatever and forgot maybe, I don't know, the tide comes in. In about 15 minutes, this giant pickup truck was up to its engine in the water, and they couldn't get it. Basically, car gone. Happens almost every day on the beach approaches at the Long Beach Peninsula as well. So let's start with the basics. Front-wheel drive cars, you shouldn't even try it. Rear-wheel drive cars, you shouldn't really try it because you'll be fine on the beach once you get to the hard-packed sand, but getting through the ruts on the approaches is the problem. And if you don't have the proper car, it just doesn't make any sense. Same goes for RVs, people with trailers, vans. Don't even try it. Now, if you do have an appropriate vehicle to get through the ruts, like a four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, you should let some air out of your tires before you try. That gives a little bit more surface area on the tire, which gives you better traction. Longtime KIRO radio listener and friend of Seattle's Morning News, Paul Nee, volunteers with Long Beach Peninsula 4x4 Rescue, a group that gets people out of the sand for free. His advice for drivers who have those appropriate vehicles?
All-wheel drive versus four-wheel drive. They are not the same. If you have four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive and you're on the beach, disengage your traction control. That will get you stuck faster than anything.
So check all of your car's specs before driving on the beach to make sure it's set up properly. Your car could be fighting against you based on what it is you want to do. And by the way, if you're in an EV and a four-wheel drive EV, don't forget, those batteries are a lot heavier than a traditional car with 4x4, so that's going to add extra weight. Now, you should carry a small camp shovel in your car, maybe a flat piece of wood, old pizza box, just in case. These are ways to help you get yourself out of the sand. Now, as you enter the soft sand on the approach, pick a good line, keep your speed consistent, but don't go too fast. Momentum here is your friend. Once you're on the hard sand, watch your speed. On the Long Beach Peninsula and everywhere on the beach where you can drive in Washington State, it's a state highway, and all normal rules of driving apply. The speed limit is 25 miles an hour. Here is State Park Ranger David Lintaken.
Most people realize when they get out here that they shouldn't do some of the things that they do, spinning in circles, fishtailing, those sort of things. People say, oh, it's the beach, I thought it was okay, but somewhere down inside they kind of probably knew that was not cool.
Drive as far away from the water as possible. I know that sounds silly. Follow the tracks in the sand. Do not drive on shiny sand. Watch for dogs and young children. They are very unpredictable, and they usually are not paying attention to cars. They're thinking, hey, I'm at the beach. Why is there a car here? Well, it's a state highway and a beach area. You just got to be really, really aware. When you park on the beach, do it up in the softer sand, away from the water and other people. Always point your nose to the water when you park so you can see what's coming. As I said, the ocean is undefeated. The tide doesn't stop coming in or going out. Ranger Lintaken on what you should do if you have to stop in the sand.
Don't slam on your brakes. Don't stop with your brakes unless you absolutely have to. Let yourself roll to a stop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What happens when you slam on your brakes, it pushes the sand in a mound in front of your tires, and then you're fighting that. And if you're a front-wheel drive vehicle, you're probably going to get stuck.
And if you get stuck on the peninsula, you can reach out to Paul Nee and his friends for help.
We'll jump people. We'll get them unstuck out of the sand. But if they're in the surf, we won't touch them. They're going to have to go to a tow company to get out for that. We just can't do that.
They will get you out for free, but tips are greatly appreciated. You can go to mynorthwest.com. There's a link and a phone number to the Peninsula 4x4 group. Same goes for anybody stuck on the Oregon coast near Seaside. You can always reach out to the Clatsop County Sons of Beaches. Their Facebook
I beg your pardon, sir.
You exactly, but they'll save your you know what. Their link is available up at mynorthwest.com. They're volunteers as well. They do it for free. Remember, beach driving's a blast. You just have to be responsible. You don't want to ruin your weekend and the weekends of others by getting stuck in the sand or getting into trouble there. You don't want to get your car stuck in the water. Just be smart. And again, there are going to be thousands and thousands of people along the coast next weekend. You just got to be smart.
Sons
have
of
fun.
beaches. That's clever.
Momentum is your friend on the beach as well. Not hitting the brakes, that's a rookie move. Don't do it.
Yeah, and certainly not suddenly. I know if you see, like there are a lot of times when kids or dogs, jet out in front of you, that's the thing is you need to have like 1,000-yard stare at the beach when you're driving. If you see a group of anything 1,000 feet away, just assume they're going to run out in front of you and ease off the brakes there. And also, if you're that family that's going down there and parking on the beach, if you're parking in the tracks of the car tracks, chances are, it's a great place to be. You might want to move out of that because that's a highway. You wouldn't set up camp in the middle of a highway. Why would you do it like that at the beach? Get a little further up away from the sand. I get it. It's longer for the kids to run. But again, cars and kids and dogs, they mix here. And you just have to be smart.
What do you mean by shiny sand?
Okay, well, if you're driving, as you look down towards the water looks hard packed, but might have a little sheen on it. That's where the water's right up almost to the top. It's where you would step on the sand and kind of sink.
Gotcha.
And water would come up. That's also where the clams live. The razor clams on the peninsula, and you don't ever want to drive there because if you're packing that down, you can damage the young razor clams by driving on them that way. But that's what shiny sand is. Anything kind of looks like a mirage off toward closer to the water, that's shiny sand.
Makes sense.
Okay, so that's up on mynorthwest.com. Really quickly, what did you see yesterday? You're probably going to be working on a choke point on this at some point.
Because I'm waiting to hear back from the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office because yesterday in the middle of the afternoon, I was driving on what is probably the busiest arterial in Snohomish County, which is 132nd, which becomes 128th as you get up closer to the freeway. Basically, get out there, you go by the Fred Meyer, you go everywhere. It heads all the way down to Glacier Peak High School. 6-lane road, right? I'm driving, and the traffic's coming to a dead stop, and I see Snohomish County deputies, full lights, full sirens going on, and then I see coming the other direction about 20 to 25 teens to young teen boys on their electric motorcycles doing a takeover of the entire highway.
All 6 lanes.
All 3 going that one direction, doing wheelies, and the cops are there trying to tell them to get off the road, pull over, and they're just totally disregarding them. If I didn't have a thing full of groceries I need to get home to Holly because she needed to get some, because I'm hoping to see a mass arrest and a huge impounding of these rigs. This has got to stop. E-bikes are one thing. I get it. They're really, but if you don't have pedals, if you're driving a motorcycle, most of them didn't have helmets on, and they're come on, these little biker gangs are running all over the place. This is the first time I've seen them on a highway and they basically shut things down. I'm hoping they arrested them all, threw them all in juvie, and then find their parents.
That is so dangerous.
It's so dangerous and so dumb. And we don't seem to want to do anything about these little gangs.
Well, I hear
They're
in my
everywhere.
neighborhood, kids are getting $300 tickets.
About
and
time.
Some parents are saying, "Well, you're not riding your dirt bike anymore, Junior."
Some parents?
Yeah, just some parents.
You might have heard maybe that someone got a ticket like that.
Sorry,
Let's
Sam.
hope they all got a lot of tickets in Snohomish County yesterday, but I'll be following up on that. I couldn't believe it.
That's terrifying.
Let's take a look at traffic, Sully. It's 6:23.
Yeah, here I am shaking my fist at the crowd like, back in my day. When
Kids today.
Kids today. What are you doing? Looking at the drive up in that general area, south of 128th, coming down towards the Mill Creek interchange. We have a little bit of braking, and then a little bit through Shoreline on I-5, through Canyon Park as well. A little over 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. A little bit westbound slowing on the trestle, but nothing you can't handle. Again, just yellow spots on the map. Nothing super significant. Olympia to Tacoma, we do have some braking in DuPont, but much better than the last couple of days. It's only 40 minutes up to Tacoma. And then Federal Way to Seattle's 40. A little braking here and there, but nothing you can't handle. Again, just little bits of yellow. Same for the Valley Freeway. 40 minutes for you guys. The Renton S-curves, though, definitely starting to heat up just a little bit, primarily right where the ramp meter comes on from northbound 167. Give yourself about 20 minutes on that drive. The Lake Highway 18 looks really good. The Lake bridges are fine. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, the cool down is here. We're expecting a high today of 69. We're going to see mostly cloudy skies for the day. Some rain possible late today. Tomorrow looks rainy and breezy, 64. And then Saturday, just scattered showers on Saturday, isolated showers on Sunday with highs both days in the mid-60s. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 57.
Coming up, we have KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on the return of Garfield High School basketball coach Brandon Roy, this months after being fired for alleged player recruiting violations.
And we'll get to your opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
You know, I used to think all money managers were the same until I spoke with Fisher Investments.
Really? How different are they?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, keeping clients up to date on their portfolio.
Well, they probably just invest in a bunch of mutual funds like I do.
Nope. They build a tailored portfolio based on their clients' personal goals, helping them stay on track for a comfortable retirement.
Well, they must make commissions selling products.
Actually, Fisher doesn't sell any commission-based products. They're a fiduciary, and they believe that's a conflict.
Then they have some kind of complex fee structure.
Nope. Fisher has a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of their client's portfolio. So they do better when their clients do better.
It sounds like Fisher really is different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Fisher Investments, clearly different wealth management. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Hello. Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spellbook.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
You've worked hard, saved diligently, and now retirement is on the horizon. But will your nest egg go the distance? With rising cost and uncertain markets, there's no time for oversimplified plans. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Your old water heater's starting to peter.
Day and night, but never
Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
Dayandnight.net. Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon?
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, mid-6:31. A house fire on Whidbey Island blew up yesterday. 3 firefighters were hurt and 2 homes are gone.
Central Whidbey Fire and Rescue says it happened in Greenbank near Lagoon Point on Smuggler's Cove Road. 2 chiefs and a firefighter were caught in the explosion after they showed up. All 3 are in stable condition. 2 civilians may have been hurt too. They drove themselves to get checked out before crews could reach them. ATF agents are now trying to figure out what happened.
New safety concerns are being raised at the Nippon Dynawave plant in Longview, the site of an implosion that killed 11 people in May. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson requested records from the Washington Department of Labor and Industries.
Just 3 months before the implosion, a man had fallen into a sinkhole filled with hot pulping stock. Supervisors called it a near miss. Another witness saying, quote, operations were moving quickly to restart production and there was pressure to get the system back online, end quote. UW professor Marty Cohen says the Federal Chemical Safety Board will likely take note of that.
CSB can certainly bring that up, that, production pressures were an issue.
We also found the Department of Ecology reported several leaks across the plant, including with the tank that imploded called the G tank.
After being fired amid allegations of a recruiting violation, Brandon Roy is back as head coach for his alma mater, Garfield High School.
Roy started his basketball career at Garfield, and the school will officially welcome him home again this afternoon.
And joining us live with the latest, here's Luke.
All right, thanks, Charlie. Yeah, but will we get answers about why he was fired in the first place, about those recruiting allegations when he holds a press conference at 1 o'clock today? Well, we'll see. But hold on, let me get the notice that I'm going to have my computer rebooted off my screen.
Everybody can relate if they work in an office.
Totally. I will delay that next notice for a day, not a half an hour. So Roy is not only one of Garfield High School's biggest names, leading them to 3 state championships, but of course he was one of the NBA's biggest stars, a first-round pick out of UW by the Trailblazers. He was the NBA Rookie of the Year, and he was a 3-time All-Star. Well, he was fired because he was allegedly part of a recruiting push involving an NBA agent that offered a student an apartment, a car, and money if he transferred to Garfield. Roy denied the allegations and says he was not fired, pointing out that he was invited to reapply for his job, and it looks like he's got the job again. The only comment from Seattle Public Schools at the time was a statement they put out that simply said Garfield High School decided to go in a different direction, and they thanked Roy for his contribution as a student athlete, coach, and parent. The governing body of high school sports, the WIAA, also looked into that alleged recruiting violation. Certainly, there will be a lot of questions for the school and for Roy this afternoon. Will they answer them? Well, that's another question. Roy's stance is, again, he did nothing wrong, and he is back now, coaching at Garfield.
Okay, Luke Ducey reporting live and weathering IT challenges. Time to check traffic. Sully is watching the roads for us.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Because I'm having, my computer just shut down.
It did?
Yeah, right now. You're 20% there.
What
Please
is
keep
happening?
your computer on. 21%, 22%. I could do this to 100, I guess. But before my computer blew up, I noticed that we do have a crash on northbound I-5 right before you get to Highway 18 coming up past Wild Waves in the right-hand lane or maybe just being pushed off to the right shoulder. Either way, there's some braking now up the hill out of Fife. You've got a Tacoma to Federal Way drive of about 20 minutes, which plus or minus is a little bit behind schedule, but not too bad. Once you get through that, Federal Way to Seattle's about 40. Brake lights in the usual places, right by the Kent Des Moines Road, and then from the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Valley Freeway, also about 40 minutes. Really not too bad out of Auburn or at the north end. And Renton to Bellevue's under 20. The heaviest spot there is right there with the merging from 167. So that's not too bad. Coming down from the north end, we do have a little bit of a slowing right by 529 coming south of Marysville. But then 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. The heaviest spot on either one of those drives is 405 south of Canyon Park. We had a little stall there right there at 527, moved over to the right shoulder pretty quickly. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, much different than yesterday. We're going to stay cloudy for today. Some rain a possibility late in the day, 69 our high. Tomorrow, Friday, rainy, breezy, 64. Saturday and Sunday, not too bad. We'll see scattered showers Saturday, a few showers on Sunday, a possibility, with highs in the mid-60s. Right now, it's cloudy and 57 in Seattle.
From ABC News, Wall Street Now. The building boom in artificial intelligence may be adding to inflation and helping to drive up prices on all sorts of things that consumers are trying to buy. The Wall Street Journal says the biggest AI companies have spent over $740 billion this year alone on new data centers. Increasing demand is driving up prices, especially for computer memory, which in turn is rippling across large parts of the economy, from video games to phones. At the same time, oil prices yesterday fell to their pre-Iran war levels, with energy investors betting that global crude supplies will improve now that tankers again are passing through the Strait of Hormuz. In turn, the cost of gas fell another penny yesterday to $3.91 a gallon. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Speaking of the Strait, Secretary of State Marco Rubio attended a meeting of Gulf nations in Bahrain and said those nations are also committed to seeing free flow of maritime traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. Rubio says the U.S. is keeping Iran to their end of the bargain in the Memorandum of Understanding that no ship in the Strait be charged with a toll. Iran recently said it could close the Strait again, but Rubio told reporters after the Gulf Cooperation Council meeting the U.S. will be watching to see what Iran does, not says.
How would that work? It's not doable, because what's the consequence for not paying? Let's say a ship says, well, I'm not going to pay the fee. It's not like a toll on a road. You don't get a ticket in the mail. They get shot at. You shoot at one ship, you sink one ship, no other ship is going to move. So that sort of system is not only unwise, it can't happen, it's not even workable. So you might as well abandon the fantasy now.
New questions about the hike in gas prices during the war with Iran. ABC's Karen Hua on what we're now hearing from President Trump.
We should be, in my opinion, at $2.25 right now.
He's asking the Justice Department to investigate whether oil companies are price gouging, keeping prices at the pump high even as oil prices fall in the wake of the Iran peace deal.
Tempers boiled over between President Trump and Republican senators during a meeting yesterday. News Nation Washington correspondent Libby Dean reports it came after he surprised lawmakers by refusing to sign a bipartisan bill to address housing costs.
President Trump went into this meeting hoping he could gain enough GOP support to pass the Save America Act. That's the elections overhaul bill and a top priority for the president. But he actually left that meeting after some of those heated exchanges. And the president apparently blew up at Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy over a separate issue, with Cassidy accusing the president of not being forthcoming with the American people about the Iran war. And Cassidy characterized the meeting as intense.
Looking to make amends with Trump, Senate Republicans late yesterday reversed course by rejecting a new Iran resolution limiting Trump's authority to continue military action against Iran.
You might want to check your junk drawer, as an old coupon could be worth some money. Here's ABC's Dave Packer.
3 years after filing for bankruptcy, Bed Bath & Beyond is on the comeback trail. The retailer is planning to open nearly 24 locations nationwide through a partnership with the Container Store. And if you've held on to one of those Bed Bath & Beyond infamous blue coupons, you could win big. The chain says it will still honor its old coupons. In fact, it's looking for the oldest surviving coupon, part of a contest for a home transformation. Dave Packer, ABC News.
One of those new Bed Bath & Beyond stores will be in Bellevue. Checking Wall Street, trading's underway. The Dow is up about 345 points right now at 52,194. S&P 500 is up 39 and the Nasdaq up 115 points.
KIRO 7 News wants to help you keep more of your money. Every day you'll see stories to help you save big on expenses like gas, groceries, and housing. And they're alerting you to new scams so you can protect more of what's yours. When it comes to your wallet, KIRO 7 has your back. Watch weeknights at 4, 5, 6, and 7 p.m. or see money-saving stories at KIRO7.com/money.
6:39. Hey, Sully. What's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're looking at this crash heading up the hill from 5 to 18. We'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-360-0681 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-360-0681. That's 800-360-0681. What do you have to lose? Call 800-360-0681. Again, 800-360-0681.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
It's 6:43. Chris Sullivan is watching the roads for us.
And we have a pretty sizable backup now up the hill from 5 to Highway 18. A lot of activity around this little fender bender that's blocking the right-hand lane right as you get up past Wild Waves. You're going to need about 25 minutes now to go from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's about a 10-minute delay over what you might expect. That's really the only braking you're going to have from Olympia through Tacoma at this point, because Olympia to Tacoma is only 35 minutes. But boy, around 54th past 70th up the hill is going to be pretty slow. slow. Once you get through that, though, you will pick up the pace because it's really not too bad. Federal Way to Seattle is about 40 minutes. That's pretty good at this time of day. Looking at Puyallup to Renton, not bad either. Under 45. We are starting to see a little bit more action, though, past Auburn and at the north end, definitely. The Renton S-curves are a little active today, but about 21, 22 minutes to get you up to Bellevue is pretty good. Maple Valley Highway is also up to its normal self, slowing northbound or westbound, depending on what you call it, getting up towards Cedar Grove as you pull away from Highway 18. Highway 18 itself over Tiger Mountains, not too bad. Lake bridges are fine. A little bit more slowing now through Marysville, starting to kind of push into the red just a bit. Also 204 down the hill out of Lake Stevens is a little slow. And then we're picking up more action as you meander south of the Linwood area. Not quite 45 minutes, though, from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repairs earn local trust with honest pricing, guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Relief from the heat. Finally, cloudy today. We'll see some rain move in late today, 69 the high. For tomorrow, rainy and breezy and 64. Looks like Saturday that's the best chance of seeing some showers. 65 on Saturday, Sunday, just isolated showers and 65. Right now in Seattle, cloudy and 57.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with this week's Tech Talk. A look at why national security officials are worried about drone use during the World Cup. That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
You've got to try the new TikTok diet.
Just ask Chat.
I just take blue-green algae.
You just have to eat kale. Kale, kale, kale.
I read you should put butter in your coffee.
Or you could trust your gut. When it comes to your energy, digestion, and overall health, how do you know what's actually right for you? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to show what's going on inside you right now. Not trends, not guesses, your biology. With your results, Viome gives you clear, personalized, actionable guidance. Which foods help you, which ones don't, and which supplements your body actually can benefit from. All based on the world's largest gut health databases and thousands of clinical research studies. Many people who use Viome report better digestion, more energy, and an improved mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing.
And maybe still eat the kale?
Maybe. Learn more at Viome.com/know. V as in Victor, IOME.com/KNOW. And use coupon code VIOME50 to save $50 off your purchase.
And eat everything blue.
No, thank you.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
After 2 arrests for violating Seattle airspace and the FBI arrest of a local man in connection with a terror plot at the White House, drone security is turning heads at the World Cup.
In today's Tech Talk, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey explains why drones are emerging as one of the biggest concerns for law enforcement and security experts.
During last Friday's World Cup match between the U.S. and Australia, Seattle police seized 11 drones and arrested 2 people for violating the FAA's 3-mile no-fly zone around Lumen Field during game days. Then, that same day,
if it wasn't for the intervention of law enforcement, I do believe they could have carried out a mass casualty event at the White House.
U.S. Attorney Charles Neal Floyd announced the FBI arrested a group of men, including a 21-year-old suspect from Mason County, on suspicion of plotting a terror attack targeting the UFC event at the White House using drones armed with explosives. Both scenarios reflect why, for months, federal and local law enforcement have been planning security and defense preparations aimed at preventing potential attacks.
From the highest level of our government and the beginning of all the planning for World Cup, that's been a major focus.
I recently talked with Melissa Swisher, Chief Revenue Officer for SkySafe, a company that specializes in detecting, analyzing, and acting on drones that enter a specific airspace. She first explained,
they're fast-moving, they're inexpensive,
and that speed means old ways of detecting potential criminal activity are now obsolete. In other words, if you see a drone flying toward fans,
you've already waited too late to respond effectively.
Because
they don't respect or care about road closures or perimeters, and And essentially that's a gap, right? There's this new category of threat that's actually entering the airspace.
The Department of Homeland Security spent more than $100 million on counter-drone measures ahead of the World Cup, with close to 1 million travelers visiting Seattle during games. Swisher says that concern isn't just about someone flying recklessly near a stadium. It's about finding who might be flying that drone and why.
So the entire game about this is detecting the operator and the drone before it becomes visible.
Federal and city officials haven't said exactly what technologies they're deploying, but companies like SkySafe are now developing systems ranging from drone detection software to radio frequency tracking to lasers and other counter-drone tools. Swisher says many cities, including World Cup host cities like Seattle, already have strong coordination between law enforcement and emergency management agencies, but we asked her about a potential worst-case scenario, like an attack unfolding.
It's not without the realm of possibility. I mean, there could be no threats whatsoever, and then all of a sudden there is one.
She says it could be a matter of time, and cities need to begin planning as if an attack could happen.
Do I think a drone's going to go over a stadium and blow something up? No, I don't. But I think what you're going to continue to see is that evolve. But I think that we're going to be prepared as we go into that next phase.
I mean, this is all really scary to think about.
I was just going to say, you've given me another thing to worry about.
It's another thing, but this is very real. I was just at SCA Airport yesterday talking with a TSA agent, director, who's saying, they are working with also U.S. air marshals, they don't just sit on airlines and, keep flights safe. They're all helping out with drone security, not just at the stadium, but also at SCA during this World Cup period. They try to create deterrence. You can be fined up to $100,000 if you are illegally flying a drone in this restricted airspace, and obviously plenty of people are. The message is just leave your drones at home right now, but yeah, it's scary, very scary stuff.
Well, listener Tim from Spanaway, he texted in this morning. He saw the same thing I've been seeing over I-5 the past several mornings. So this is, I drive through like 3:30-ish, between 3:30 and 4. You go up I-5 between 320th and 272nd. And here we are in the middle of the night, and there's a drone right above the roadway. I've seen it several times. No explanation. Can't imagine that's legal to have something right over the freeway.
Same location?
Same location. Yeah, it's really odd. So State Patrol wouldn't have something like that. So, security, you see something like that, you start to think,
that's creepy.
It is creepy.
Yeah, see something, say something. So that's the first step. But maybe who knows what they're doing. But scary.
And you just never know. All right, Luke Ducey, thank you for the tech talk. And that's up on My Northwest? Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. It's 6:52.
From ABC News Tech Trends. Google Wallet could soon help you get through security at airports a whole lot faster. Google now says its wallet is the first digital wallet to team with the TSA for its pre-check touchless ID system. It's been available at a few dozen airports, but only with select airlines. But over the next few weeks, the system is expanding to cover 100 airlines. You'll have to store your ID information and your boarding pass in Google Wallet. But then your phone is all you need at the security check. OpenAI wants more control over its artificial intelligence. The company now says it's partnered with hardware maker Broadcom to come up with its own AI chip that could allow OpenAI to cut how much it relies on chip maker NVIDIA. And Honda may be ready to rev up a car that was last made 15 years ago. The Honda Element, the boxy mini SUV that developed a cult following, was discontinued in 2011. But now Automotive News says Honda is working on bringing it back as an electric vehicle in 2029. With Tech Trends, Dave Packer, ABC News.
My wife had a Honda Element. She loved it, but they are a very distinctive car on the road.
Yes, they are.
And when I was in Japan a couple months ago now, so many cars have that look. It's much different than here in the U.S. It'll be interesting to see if they can make that a success this time or not.
Is that the same car that had chipmunks driving in the commercials?
Those were hamsters.
That was the Kia
Soul.
Okay, that's right. And they were hamsters.
And the one with the offset rear windshield, which also just bugged the heck out of me.
Yeah, I think that was a Nissan. So
Either way, they're ugly cars.
I won't tell Ingrid you said that.
No, tell her I said that.
It's 6:53.
Expect better out of her.
Time for traffic on the 3, Sully.
And we are dealing with one little crash today. It's no longer blocking, but it is causing about a 10-minute delay for those of you coming up from Tacoma to Federal Way. It's right up there before you get to Highway 18. It's over on the right shoulder. IRT is with it, but no longer blocking. But you're going to need about 25 minutes to go from Tacoma to Federal Way, which is 10 minutes slower than normal. Good news is that most of Pierce County is in quiet shape, and I-5 from Olympia to Tacoma, you're not going to really hit the brakes much at all. And then Federal Way to Seattle's under 45 minutes. Even that stretch past the West Seattle Bridge is not as bad as it could be. There are fewer people out there today, which is great. I mean, I guess I forgot it is summer, and it is Thursday, so people might be taking a couple days to kind of work their way into next week maybe. But rented to Bellevue, the S-curves are active now, 25 minutes on your drive to Bellevue. Behind that, some spillover onto the Valley Freeway. About 45 minutes from end to end, though really not that bad. 18 over Tiger Mountain, a little slow but manageable. Lake bridges are fine. Coming down from the north end, just some slight hesitation around 529 in Marysville. Really not adding much to your travel time. Trestle's manageable as well. And then from Linwood on down, I-5 is really good, and 405 really is not too bad until you get south of Canyon Park to 522. You got about a 44-minute drive from Everett to Bellevue and about 43 from Everett to Seattle. So all in all, pretty good drive out of the north end. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Is your AC not working? Well, don't assume the worst. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first and only replaces if needed. Get a real pricing quote 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com.
Made it through the heat. Cloudy for today. Some rain a possibility late in the day. 69 the high for today. Tomorrow even cooler. Rainy, breezy, and 64. And so far for the weekend, looks like we might see a few showers here and there. It's 57 in Seattle right now.
A home explosion on Whidbey Island yesterday. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey just got off the phone with a neighbor. What they say happened.
And at 7:15, why President Trump said he will not sign a bipartisan affordable housing bill.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
Progressive presents the Museum of You. We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You've got to try the new TikTok diet.
Just ask chat.
I just take blue-green algae.
Or you could trust your gut. When it comes to your health, how do you know what's right for you? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that analyzes your real-time biology to give you personalized nutrition guidance and custom supplements. Not trends, your biology.
Learn more at Viome.com/know. V as in Victor, IOME.com/KNOW. And use coupon code VIOME50 to save $50 off your purchase.
Check out the Puyallup Tribe's Firecracker Alley's new location at 3509 72nd Street East in Tacoma. Stock up now for your 4th and enjoy great food at Firecracker Alley. 3509 72nd Street East in Tacoma. Open now through July 4th.
Guys, it's Men's Health Month at Revive Seattle. Get a free comprehensive wellness panel. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Valued at $400. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry. Preston, devastation in Venezuela. That was in Caracas as the first of 2 strong earthquakes hit within seconds of each other. At least 164 people are dead, nearly 1,000 hurt. Experts fear those numbers will rise. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says U.S. help is on the way now.
We're already deploying search and rescue teams from Fairfax County, Virginia, and Los Angeles. There'll be some others we'll add. That's their most immediate need right now is search and rescue efforts.
A couple of new looks at the economy. The Commerce Department says it grew 2.1% in the first 3 months of the year. And the inflation gauge, watched most closely by the Fed, is showing prices up 4.1% last month compared to last year. Oil prices going the other way, though. Brent crude, the international standard, falling to pre-war levels, trading about $73 a barrel. Temperatures across Europe soaring again today. The UK hit a new record high yesterday. This is ABC News. Check your junk drawers. An old blue coupon could be worth some green.
3 years after filing for bankruptcy, Bed Bath & Beyond is on the comeback trail. The retailer is planning to open nearly 24 locations nationwide through a partnership with the Container Store. And if you've held on to one of those Bed Bath & Beyond infamous blue coupons, you could win big. The chain says it will still honor its old coupons. In fact, it's looking for the oldest surviving coupon, part of a contest for a home transformation. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Europe's deadly heat wave not letting up. This morning, the Spanish Health Ministry said 212 people have died in the heat since last weekend. King Charles expected to become the first British monarch today to reveal his personal tax bill as he responds to demands for greater transparency in royal finances. The move comes as lawmakers continue to question how the king's disgraced brother, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, spent his millions. Andrew was stripped of his title last year amid revelations on his long friendship with Epstein. This is ABC News.
At 7:02, here's what's happening. A house fire exploded on Whidbey Island yesterday, destroying 2 homes. Luke Ducey just spoke with a neighbor. He'll join us in a moment live. 2 men are dead after a float plane hit a power line over the Columbia River near Kennewick yesterday. The coroner says crews recovered both bodies from the water.
And a Seattle police officer is suing the city, claiming he was punished for attending the January 6th rally at the Capitol. The Seattle Times reports a minor crash investigation was turned into a dishonesty finding. He was suspended for 30 days.
It's time to check traffic now every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And it's actually lighter than you might have anticipated for a Thursday. I guess we're kind of getting into that summertime where we get towards a weekend, we might pick up an odd lighter day, and here we have it. I mean, we're looking really good. Olympia to Tacoma, really no braking all the way up. Now, we do have a 10-minute delay through Fife up the hill to 18 because of a little fender bender just before Highway 18 that's over on the right shoulder, no longer blocking. You're going to need about 25 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way. But then Federal Way to Seattle's under 45 minutes. even that drive past the West Seattle Bridge is not as bad as it could be. So we take the wins where we can get them. Valley Freeway, under 45 minutes, but not by much. We're kind of creeping a little closer. We have some heavy braking now from 180th on in through all the weaving and merging, trying to tie into 405. And then Renton to Bellevue's got about a 22, 23-minute trip. Lake bridges are fine. Coming down from the north end, just little pockets to Marysville, across the Trestle, away from Linwood by the Alderwood Mall and into Shoreline for I-5. The heaviest braking away from Linwood, definitely south of Canyon Park. You need about 44 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, about 42 from Everett to Seattle. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. 3 firefighters are recovering after being injured when a home exploded on Whidbey Island.
Investigators say there is still unexploded ordnance inside the home, and new this morning, a neighbor tells KIRO News Radio she thinks fireworks started this.
Luke Ducey joins us live with the latest.
Yeah, I just tracked down and talked with Tanya, who lives right next door to that home that exploded yesterday afternoon.
We're devastated by this. We can't get back into our home.
She says she was driving home and saw her house on fire. Her dogs were inside the house, and firefighters were able to rescue them and get them to a vet. They're going to be fine, she tells me. But as for a potential cause, look, there's no official word on the cause, but this is what Tanya tells me she has been seeing at her neighbor's house for the last year or so.
Oh, I'm sure it's the fireworks. He bought a truckload last year. Brought it in over Deception Pass in a semi truck, and he wanted to offload it on our property. Said no. There was a pallet in the middle of the street. I guess yesterday he had, I think, 3 or 4 delivered.
2 fire chiefs and 1 firefighter. They're in stable condition right now. They have no idea right now what blew this house up. Again, no official cause. The ATF will be there this morning, federal agents, because they say there is still unexploded ordnance there at that scene. Could be fireworks. If you're watching on our YouTube feed, we do have a map of where this happened in the Greenbank neighborhood, and we've got a photo from firefighters at the scene. You can see debris from the house that exploded. It was just obliterated across Smuggler's Cove Road. There was a second house that also caught fire, and that was destroyed. There was a third house that was also damaged by debris. Of course, Tanya's house was damaged. Someone called 911 to report this yesterday afternoon, and moments after firefighters got there, that's when the house just blew up. Tanya runs a food pantry there and has been struggling. It's been a really rough year for her.
We just had a flood on Mother's Day, and that's closed. We have a lot going on right now.
Yeah, a lot going on that she's going through. She says they're devastated, but this is not something that any of them expected. However, reports of seeing pallets, truckloads of fireworks, perhaps being stored and perhaps still there at the scene. Still a lot of questions. We're looking for answers for you this morning.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's 7:06.
King County prosecutors have charged a 15-year-old Tukwila boy in connection with a Kent homicide investigation. According to court documents, the teen fired multiple shots at a group of people, killing a 15-year-old girl June 3rd. The teen faces 1 count of first-degree murder, 4 counts of first-degree assault, and 1 count of unlawful possession of a firearm. Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office says now a decision has to be made about whether the teen will be tried as a juvenile or an adult.
That process usually takes several months. Prosecutors will make their case for having it in adult court, and the defense will make their case, and then ultimately it'll be up to a judge.
The boy will be back in court today.
We're learning more about that shooting along Aurora Avenue North, where a 15-year-old boy was hurt, is in serious condition. It happened Tuesday night, and here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch with the story.
Seattle police say the teen was driving near North 93rd and Aurora when a backseat passenger accidentally shot him inside the car. The shooter and other passengers fled on foot as the victim pulled over at North 105th Street and got help from a Seattle fire crew on scene of an unrelated incident. Neighbors like Eric Williams says sadly, nothing surprises them anymore.
My mom's lived here for about 20 years. It's gotten considerably worse, from what she said.
The teen was taken to Harborview and at last report was listed in serious condition. So far, no arrests have been made. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed
formed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
That got Sully's attention. Glad to have you with us on this Thursday. It's Friday Eve. It's June 25th. He's Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
So what? We're 9 days away from 4th of July.
At some point this year, I'm going to stop saying, where's this year going?
And when I was a kid, Manda, this was the 6-month mark.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas Day, 6 months away.
Yeah.
Started thinking about getting my list together.
Oh, my goodness. It'll be here before you know it.
Before you know it. At least we're going to cool down a bit. We'll have that weather forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Mariners taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates this morning. They get breakfast baseball, 9:35 first pitch.
Nice. Coming up this hour of the show, News Nation's Libby Dean breaks down a tense meeting yesterday between President Trump and Senate Republicans, why the president chose to not sign a bipartisan housing bill.
And in today's 7:35 commentary, Washington's shift to the left continues at a drastic rate. It seems pretty clear why. I'll talk about that coming up in about 26 minutes.
It's now 7:09. Downtown Seattle was flooded with blue and white as Bosnia took on Qatar in the World Cup for a surprise win yesterday. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery was there.
There were high hopes.
We need a win today.
And then there was the reality of the blowout 3-1 victory.
We smell like beer now because the celebrations were throwing beer at everybody.
For a team born out of a war-torn country that gained independence just 30 years ago and is only making its second World Cup appearance, it was a stunning milestone. In Seattle, Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates says Jeffrey Epstein tried to use his sex life against him in a transcript newly released by the House investigation into Epstein. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Gates acknowledged he had 3 extramarital affairs, and when Epstein learned about 2 of them from a mutual acquaintance, he said Epstein began working to use information about my infidelities. The committee asked Gates about photos from the Epstein files showing him with women. Gates responded he did not know them. He said Epstein asked me to take a photo with one of his assistants, which I did.
Gates denied knowing anything about Epstein's criminal conduct, but admitted to being aware of his prior sex conviction.
A State Patrol trooper is in jail, accused of stalking a former dating partner. The Seattle Times reports the trooper was charged following allegations of repeated unwanted contact and violations involving the ex-partner. Details in court documents describe ongoing harassment. The case is now moving through the court system, and the State Patrol confirms it is cooperating.
A float plane crash in the Columbia River has killed 2 men. According to the Tri-City Herald, the plane hit a power line near Clover Island in Kennewick yesterday afternoon. The Franklin County coroner confirms both men on board died. The crash sent the plane and a live wire into the water.
6 months after being scammed during an online sale, an Everett teenager has some of his property back.
Police say the 15-year-old sold 2 remote-controlled planes on Facebook Marketplace for more than $1,200, but got paid in counterfeit 20s. Detectives used license plate reader technology to track down the suspect. They were also able to recover one of the stolen planes, a Freewing F-14 from a pawn shop. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Spokane leaders putting a hold on large data centers for at least a year. SeattleRed.com reports the city council voted 6-1 to approve an emergency moratorium after questions were raised about energy use tied to a proposed major project. Supporters cite environmental and cost concerns, while the lone opposing vote raised issues about innovation and economic impact.
As we approach the nation's 250th birthday, we're hearing a success story about 2 bald eagles. The chicks were taken from a hazardous nest near power lines, then nursed back to health at WSU's veterinary hospital. Veterinarian Marcy Logston says the eaglets are thriving in a foster nest with a new eagle family.
This is a great time to just give a little thought to things we can do to support the bald eagle that means so much to us.
Experts say the operation shows decades of conservation paying off as bald eagle populations continue to rebound across the country.
At 7:12, let's get a check on the weather. It is looking to be cloudy today, much cooler than it was yesterday. Rain later in the day, a high of 69. Tomorrow, rain through the day, 64-hour high. On Saturday, maybe some morning showers, then partly sunny by the afternoon, 65. And scattered, isolated showers on Sunday as well. Again, highs in the mid-60s. Right now in Seattle, we have clouds and 56.
And it's 7:13. Time once again for a check on traffic. We do that that every 10 minutes. What's up, Sully?
Well, we're enjoying a pretty good day for this Thursday. There isn't a lot of congestion out there. Where we do have it, you get into it and you get out of it a little bit faster than you might anticipate. If you're coming down from the 405 corridor out of Linwood on 405, you're going to see the heavy braking away from Canyon Park, but it's manageable. And we're looking at a 50-minute trip now from Everett into Bellevue, about 42 from Everett to Seattle. So really not too bad on that side of the lake, and really not terrible for a Thursday coming down out of Snohomish County. Coming up the other direction, Olympia to Tacoma's all green on the map, which is great, and Tacoma's relatively quiet. Now you get to Fife, and you're going to have some braking up the hill to 18. Still running about 25 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's plus 10 because of a little fender bender right up at the top there, right as you get to Highway 18 on the right-hand side. Federal Way to Seattle, about 45 minutes, a little over 45 now from Puyallup to Renton. There's some braking out of Sumner at this point as well, kind of added to the party. Renton to Bellevue's not quite a half an hour. Across the lake, we're still doing really well. Now, I'm looking for something. My driver's Shane, our good friend from Gig Harbor, let me know that it looks like we have a crash on northbound 3, kind of north of the Chico Way area. He's reporting that it's involving a motorcycle. There's a pretty significant backup behind this thing. So if you're heading north out of Gig Harbor, you're going to, in Bremerton, you're going to see some very heavy braking as you work your way up to Silverdale. This traffic report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Subaru of Puyallup has dependable, fuel-efficient, all-wheel drive models, including the redesigned Subaru Outback. You can find stress-free pricing and offers at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, it is your stress-free dealership.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show. Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, it was a tense meeting between President Trump and Republican senators yesterday as lawmakers attempted to persuade the president to sign a bipartisan housing bill passed by the U.S. Senate.
That as GOP senators took a step back on whether the president should continue military action in Iran.
A lot to break down. We check in now with News Nation correspondent Libby Dean. Good morning, Libby. It looked pretty positive at this time yesterday that there would be a big signing ceremony for that bipartisan housing bill. What happened?
Up until the very last minute, it seemed like this was going to happen. You even had some of the lawmakers who sponsored the bill or were attending the signing. They walked up to the scene of where this was all going to be signed and were told by reporters that the president had canceled this bipartisan bill signing. The president making that announcement on Truth Social and saying that he's canceling it because he wants the Save America Act passed and he's not going to sign any major legislation until that happens.
Talk to us about this meeting with the president and GOP senators. It sounds like some voices were raised, let's say.
To say the least. I mean, it was a shouting match between Senator Bill Cassidy and President Trump. And it actually wasn't about the Save America Act or the housing bill. It was about Iran, and it was about Cassidy wanting more disclosure from the Trump administration and the president for the American people about the war with Iran, wanting more clarity for what is going on in these negotiations, in this 60-day period of negotiations. It ended, though, with Cassidy essentially getting what he wanted, aside from the optics of shouting at the president. He did end up getting a briefing from the vice president, J.D. Vance, as well as Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, about the conflict in Iran. And then he emerged and flipped his vote on that war powers resolution.
Senators like Cassidy and Tillis, they used to be in lockstep with the president. They are Republicans, after all. What's changed?
A lot of party infighting that we're seeing in recent days. As far as what's changed, a lot of these senators who are going against the president here lost their primaries because President Trump endorsed other candidates over them. And you're seeing this major split happen, and even some of those senators attending this lunch and emerging, having dissatisfaction with the president and saying they won't support what the president wants to see get across the finish line, and that's the Save America Act.
What happens now to the housing bill? This is something that was being celebrated on both sides.
Yeah, as far as when this could be signed, the president has made it clear he's not going to sign it until that Save America Act is passed, but that doesn't have the votes right now. You look at the numbers, it's about 53 Republicans. The president has to convince several Republicans to get on board, and he also would have to convince Democrats to get on board as well. So his team has a lot of uphill battle when it comes to getting that across the finish line. Even the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, has thrown cold water on this, but the president is making it clear that he wants this to be a priority. As far as the housing bill, this was something the White House had even celebrated up until the moment that the president criticized it actually in the Oval Office yesterday. So as far as if it's going to get signed, the path forward is pretty unclear right now on that, if the president is going to or not.
And Libby, it does seem as if the clock is ticking on not only this act, but just the president having both chambers of Congress behind him. Are they paying attention to the big November election coming up?
For sure. Trump's team is. I wouldn't say the president is especially concerned given what we saw play out on the Capitol in this luncheon yesterday. But this White House does, of course, want Republicans to be in power so the president can get his legislative priorities through. It's just a matter of if that's going to be the case when they are facing a lot of headwinds. And, of course, as Americans know, the people in power typically lose the midterm elections.
If you turned off the news yesterday around this time, you thought that a bunch of senators had finally voted in favor of invoking the War Powers Act. It sounds like there have been some defections to that original vote. Can you bring us up to speed, Libby?
Yes. So this vote flipped, actually, over in the Senate. It was passed 2 days before, and then you saw, as far as the timeline, it was passed the night before this luncheon happened. Then President Trump went over to Capitol Hill, where he got into the shouting match. Then Cassidy got this briefing. Cassidy flipped his vote, and then it ultimately didn't end up passing because you saw another senator actually vote present as well. As far as the path forward on that, I mean, the White House has made it clear that, of course, President Trump wouldn't sign off on this. They've said it's not going to make it to his desk, but it was a very big rebuke of the president just hours before he was headed to the Hill yesterday. And then it ended with President Trump essentially getting a win that he applauded on a True Social as well late last night when this reversal happened.
Lots to keep straight. Thank you, Libby. We appreciate it. News Nation correspondent Libby Dean.
It's 7:20. The Great American State Fair opens on the National Mall today. News Nation Washington correspondent Gabriel Caracciolo has the story.
From some musicians canceling to several states not sending official delegations, there's been plenty of controversy surrounding this event, but the organizers insist it is a nonpartisan celebration.
Tonight, as we stand on the edge of our 250th year of independence, I am thrilled to declare that America is back.
Kicking off the Great American State Fair, President Trump addresses a crowd on the National Mall.
This exceptional nation was forged and won by some of the bravest, toughest, strongest, most extraordinary people ever to stride the earth.
His remarks came after several musicians backed out of performing over concerns the event is too political.
I think it's going to bring a lot of people together, and I think that's what we need right now.
Organizers with Freedom 250, a group aligned with the Trump White House, say it's nonpartisan.
Well, they certainly have become politicized.
At least 7 state governments have opted out, many citing the cost of things like travel and accommodations for the 16-day event.
I'm fine with Oregon not participating. I know we're doing a lot in Oregon and recognizing the 250th anniversary of our country, but we don't need to do that with the Trump administration.
But organizers say all states will still be represented at these pavilions in some way. The event will also feature a Ferris wheel, rodeo, and more.
This is literal history that we're living through, and you're going to want to say that you were here.
The states opting not to send official delegations will often be represented by private businesses. The fair runs through July 10th. I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo, News Nation, Washington.
Surging energy prices drove rising inflation again last month. ABC's Jim Ryan says the Consumer Price Index for May was in line with expectations.
The government's favorite measure of inflation was up 0.4% from April to May and 4.1% above May of 2025. Take out the volatile food and energy components, and the PCE showed a more modest increase month to month and year to year. Wall Street's investors feared that inflation would be worse, so the major stock indexes went into today's trading on a high note. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Europe is warming faster than anywhere else, with temperatures rising twice as fast as the global average. That warning from experts at the World Meteorological Association. I can never say that word. Meteorological organization. ABC's James Longman in London.
France again shattering records, reporting its hottest day ever as Paris hit 105 degrees. Spain and the UK on alert. Madrid reaching 107 and London 102. The heat dome has even caused power outages. One UK hospital declared a critical incident after cooling systems failed. And Europe's tourists are caught in the middle.
A lot of things got shut down, so it was really disappointing.
The Eiffel Tower and Louvre once again restricting hours. Hundreds lining Paris canals and pools to escape the heat.
I'm just looking at it right now. Paris is 102 Fahrenheit.
That's just miserable for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because lack of AC.
Yeah.
7:23 now. We need to check in with Sully for traffic on the 3s.
Yeah, I had a lack of AC last night myself. We don't have it for the house. We just have one little little portable one for the room. The condenser just isn't where I was like, I know it's not 64 degrees in my room right now. It feels like you're blowing warm heat. That's great. So the next couple of days are going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Right now, the roads are not bad. We're enjoying a pretty good drive on this Thursday. There are a couple places that do have some pretty intense braking, but you get in and out of it maybe a little faster than you expected. Like if you're on the northbound I-5 drive and you're driving from Olympia to Seattle, it's going to be all green on the map, freeway speed all the way up through Tacoma. Then you're going to hit a little braking up the hill to 18 because of a fender bender over on the right shoulder. We're back down to about 20 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way, so we've picked up 5 minutes there. And then you just have a little annoying braking past the Kent Des Moines Road, but it's really from the north end of Boeing Field where you're really going to kind of crunch down. That's the one spot past the West Seattle Bridge, and the reason why we're running close to 50 minutes now from Federal Way to Seattle, with about 30 of that from South Center. Another spot that's pretty heavy, those Rent and S curves. Even on a light day, it's going to be bumper to bumper up to about 44th, and that's what we have. But a 30-minute trip to Bellevue isn't bad. The Valley Freeway behind that's under 45, so that's really good. Coming down from the north end, a pretty clean drive as well. Everett to Seattle's only 45 minutes, but Everett to Bellevue's about 50. We have a few more brake lights through Canyon Park today. And if you're heading north of Bremerton on Highway 3, we do have a lane blocked for this crash north of Chico Way. This does involve a motorcycle, according to Shane, who's one of my good sets of eyes over there in the Kitsap County area. So plan on a big delay heading up out of that area if you're heading up towards Silverdale. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
It is much cooler today. 69 our expected high. We're going to stay cloudy for the day. Some rain a possibility late today. Tomorrow, rainy, breezy, 64. Scattered showers for both days on the weekend, but most likely on Saturday. Right now in Seattle, cloudy and 58.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey breaks down why former NBA star Brandon Roy is being rehired by Garfield High School just months after being fired.
How about the 7:35 commentary?
So why is the state moving so rapidly to the left? Well, you just need to take a look back a decade ago for the answer. That's coming up at 7:35.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one that locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, guaranteed repairs. It's this dedication that has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. This is Sully. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, a full service history. It's all right there at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Summertime means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, sandwiches at the summit. So don't let your bank stop you from having fun. Free checking at WaFd Bank is the way to go. There are no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Plus, you'll get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stick to your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states, so you have access wherever you are. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Are you thinking about getting a new TV this week at prime prices? Maybe a Samsung, LG, or a Sony? Before you click, you should check out Video Only, because they've got below prime deals. That's right. Top-rated TVs at better than online prices. Curbside pickup or home delivery are available. Don't click before you call Video Only, because if you do, you'll be sorry.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community, not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system. Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:31. Police are searching for multiple suspects after a shooting in West Seattle injured a teenager.
Seattle police say the gunfire erupted just after midnight near Sylvan Way Southwest and Southwest Morgan Street. Officers arrived to find a 17-year-old boy shot in the hip. He was taken to Harborview and is reported in serious but stable condition. Investigators say the suspects ran away after crashing a vehicle nearby. The Gun Violence Reduction Unit is leading the investigation.
New safety concerns are being raised at the Nippon Dynawave plant in Longview, the site of an implosion that killed 11 people in May. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson requested records from the State Department of Labor and Industries.
Before the implosion, a man had fallen into a sinkhole filled with hot pulping stock. Supervisors called it a near miss. Another witness saying, quote, operations were moving quickly to restart production and there was pressure to get the system back online, end quote. UW professor Marty Cohen says the Federal Chemical Safety Board will likely take note of that.
CSB can certainly bring that up, that, production pressures were an issue.
We also found the Department of Ecology reported several leaks across the plant, including with the tank that imploded called the G tank.
After being fired amid allegations of a recruiting violation, Brandon Roy is back as head coach for his alma mater, Garfield High. Roy started his basketball career there, and the school will officially welcome him home again this afternoon.
We get the update live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, no doubt there will be a lot of questions about those recruiting allegations when Roy and Garfield High hold a press conference at 1 o'clock today. Roy is not only one of Garfield High's biggest names, leading them to 3 state championships. He, of course, was one of the NBA's biggest names, a first-round draft pick out of UW by the Trailblazers. He was the NBA's Rookie of the Year, a 3-time All-Star. Well, he was fired because he was allegedly part of a recruiting push involving an NBA agent that offered a student an apartment, a car, and money if he transferred to Garfield. Roy denied those allegations and says he was not fired, pointing out that he was also invited to reapply for his job, and now it appears he got the job back. The only comment from Seattle Public Schools at the time was a statement that said simply Garfield High School decided to go in a different direction, and they thanked Roy for his service. The governing body of high school sports, the WIAA, also looked into the alleged recruiting violation. Certainly, again, a lot of questions for the school and for Roy this afternoon. Whether or not they'll answer them or how they'll answer them, we'll find out. That's another question in and of itself. Roy's stance, again, is that he did nothing wrong. He reapplied for the job, and now he is going to be, again, the new head coach at Garfield High School.
Luke Ducey reporting live. It's time to check in with Sully for traffic.
And we are looking at a pretty easy drive across the board, better than most Thursdays out there. We're looking at some heavy braking here and there, but manageable. The one unusual spot is for those of you on Highway 3 northbound trying to get from Bremerton on up into Silverdale. We've got a crash blocking a lane there. My driver, Shane, let me know that it looks like to involve the motorcycle. Either way, we've got about a 3-mile backup there. So if you're heading north out of Bremerton, you're going to have about a 15 to 20 minute delay on Highway 3. Now to this side of the water, kind of an average to better than average day. Federal Way to Seattle's about 50, with 35 of those minutes, though, from South Center. Those last couple miles can be pretty heavy, approaching the West Seattle Bridge and into I-90. Renton to Bellevue, about 35 minutes. Those S-curves have filled in a little bit more, so you're squeezing in with a few more customers and your best friends heading up the highway to about 44th. Then after that, it's not too bad. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is under 50. Olympia to Tacoma is not too bad. Some brake lights up the hill to 18. We had an earlier stall up there, a crash up there. And then coming down from the north end, a little bit more action away from Linwood on I-5. Got 45 minutes to Seattle and about 50 from Everett down into Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
If it's been too hot for you, you're going to like today. Staying cloudy, only 69 for our high. Some rain, a possibility late today. Tomorrow looks like we're going to get pretty wet. Rainy, breezy, and 64 for the weekend. Might see some showers both Saturday and Sunday. Most likely Saturday, highs in the mid-60s. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 58.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Time for the 7:35 commentary. The King County Democrats published their 2026 endorsement list this week. So if you go to mynorthwest.com, I have it posted there. Run your finger down to the state Senate race in the 43rd District, the bluest patch of Capitol Hill, the heart of Seattle. The name on the endorsement line is Hannah Sabio Howell, the 30-year-old labor organizer who's never held office. The name missing is Jamie Peterson. Peterson runs the Washington State Senate. He is the Democratic majority leader. This spring, he was the lead architect of the first income tax in state history. He's been a fixture in the 43rd for almost 20 years, and when his own county sat down to make its picks, it couldn't find room for the man who runs the Senate. Last week, I told you how the 43rd didn't endorse Peterson. Now it's the entire county refusing to endorse as well. Credit where it's owed. Hannah Craig at the burner caught this when nobody else did. A sitting majority leader gets passed over by his own party, and it barely earns a headline. Tells you how normal this has started to feel. Peterson is no moderate. He was lead counsel on marriage equality and sponsored the bill that legalized it here. He helped abolish the death penalty. He wrote privacy protections for transgender residents. He was the driving force behind the new income tax on millionaires. In most of the country, that's a progressive hero's resume. In the 43rd, it drew a challenge from his left. Okay, let's take a step back. I covered the 2016 race. That was 10 years ago. Plenty of sharp people in this business explained with real confidence why Donald Trump couldn't win the primary. Then they told me he couldn't win the general. Well, he won both. Then he remade the Republican Party in his own image, and the people who'd written him off lined up behind him. A similar machine is running on the left now. Anybody waving it off as too radical to last is the same people placing the same bet that went bust in 2016. And it's working its way down the ballot, right? Last fall, Katie Wilson, a Democratic Socialist organizer, knocked off sitting Mayor Bruce Harrell. Across Seattle this year, something like half a dozen Democratic incumbents are drawing primary challengers from the left. Pattern doesn't change. The senior Democrat draws fire for the sin of not being progressive enough. This will be on the November ballot in the 43rd, the Senate Majority Leader versus a Democratic Socialist. That's the whole menu. If you live there and you wanted a moderate or a conservative or somebody just promising to pump the brakes, no line for you to mark. This isn't just Seattle being Seattle, by the way. New York just watched candidates backed by Mayor Zoran Mamdani knock off establishment Democrats in deep blue congressional primaries on Tuesday. The pattern is national now. The Democratic establishment says experience. The insurgent left says experience with what? Rent that keeps climbing? Groceries that cost more every month? A starter home that looks like science fiction to people with decent jobs? That is the nerve being hit. Now, Peterson didn't cause that squeeze. Neither did Harrell. Neither did the Democratic leaders back east. But they are the faces of a system that keeps asking for patience from people who feel they've run out of it. It's what happens when the economic ladder breaks. Voters stop rewarding resumes. They stop rewarding seniority. They stop rewarding people who know how the building works. They reach for whoever says, I will change the building. For years, American politics was played between the 40-yard lines. Left and right fought over the same patch of grass in the middle because that was where most of the country stood. Now both parties are running toward opposite end zones. Republicans followed Trump away from the old Reagan-Bush party. Democrats in Seattle and New York are watching their own insurgents pull the party in the other direction. And the big crowd at the midfield, the people who used to split a pizza with a neighbor watching the game and not ask who they voted for, they didn't all move. The game did. And that's the 7:35 commentary for June 25th, 2026. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line 888-973-5476. You can join the chat, YouTube Live at KIRO Newsradio, and you can always leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:40. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we've got a 4-mile backup now getting out of Bremerton, northbound 3. We'll talk about it next.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes...
It's a hot spot on your dog's leg. But the internet says you can treat it at home. You're not sure, though. Because now it's oozing.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Ooh, he's licking it. Super gross, dude.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. Northwest News.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. Case in point, your ticket might be for the view level, but it's more like Skyline City. Up here, it's hard to say what'll take your breath away first. The gorgeous Seattle sunsets or the spectacular views of every incredible play. If you like value with a view, it's the perfect place to take quality time with the family to a whole new level. Literally.
A bases clearing, 3-run double. Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Celebrate 4th of July weekend at T-Mobile Park as the Mariners square off against the Blue Jays. The fun gets started with a fireworks spectacular on Friday the 3rd, presented by T-Mobile. Then don't miss out on patriotic bucket hats Saturday the 4th, available to the first 10,000 fans thanks to Coca-Cola. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today.
7:43 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Sully.
I've just reached out to the State Patrol, and I could use a little help from my KIRO drivers. If you're over north of the Bremerton area on northbound 3, a crash involving a motorcycle, according to my drivers, is really gumming up the works. Not sure how much of the road is blocked, but north of Chico Way is where this crash is. It's impacting the northbound direction, not the southbound, but we've got about a 4-mile backup out of Bremerton heading north up Highway 3. If you're getting out of Bremerton, I'd take the long way. I'd take 303 all the way around and over the top to Poulsbo to try to avoid the west side there of that corridor. Over on this side of the water, it's not bad. I mean, for a Thursday, we have the brake lights right where they normally are. Northbound 5 is heavy from the middle of Boeing Field past the north end. We've got about a 55 minute trip now from Federal Way to Seattle. 35 of those minutes are from South Center. Northbound 167 isn't too bad. There's a little braking in Pacific, a little bit in Auburn, and I mean a little bit. It's really the show is at the north end part of that drive. We're under 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is about 35. The S-curves are active. Then you get a nice long break until you get up to about I-90, and then you hit it again. Lake bridges are still fine. Coming down from the north end, a little slowing away from Linwood on I-5, kind of through the construction zone there as you work your way past 196th. 405 is heavy from Canyon Park down, so it's about 55 minutes now, Everett to Bellevue, and about 50 from Everett to Seattle. Again, for a Thursday, those are pretty good travel times. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup, which has dependable, fuel-efficient, all-wheel drive models, including the redesigned Subaru Outback. Find stress-free pricing and offers at SubaruPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, it is your stress-free dealership.
Forecast calls for clouds, 69 a high today, rain developing late, rain tomorrow morning, making way for showers, highs in the mid-60s. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 56.
A killer remains on the loose 3 years after a murder in Poulsbo. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has another edition of the Cold Case Project next here on Seattle's Morning News.
Word now for Closets by Design. If you're having one of those mornings where you're already behind, you can't find anything in your closet, it's a mess after all, your pantry is overflowing, your garage, well, you can't even use it. You're not doing anything wrong. Most homes just weren't set up to work the way we actually live. Now, Closets by Design isn't just closets. It's garage where you can finally park your car, a pantry you can actually use. They do laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, entertainment centers, mudrooms, everything. And it's all custom built, designed for your home and your routines. Nothing off a shelf. Everything is made to order. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother with less clutter and frustration because everything finally has a place. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN and get your project started today.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
On this week's Cold Case Project, we revisit the cold case murder of Nicholas Serra.
He was bludgeoned in Poulsbo in 2023. The killer remains free. Here's KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
Good morning, everyone. We're back with another cold case project. This is our third case out of the Poulsbo area. The victim is Nicholas Serra. Now, his uncle, Tom Rice, joins us now to tell us a little bit about how this case all developed and exactly what happened. So thank you for joining us. Why don't you give me the background on what happened here?
I was notified on October 15th, 2023, by the coroner. He came to my house and notified me that my nephew, Nick Serra, was found dead. I asked the coroner, did he do something? And he said, no, this was nothing he could have done himself. So somebody did beat him pretty severely, from what I understand.
What kind of void has his death left in not just your family, but the community?
Yeah, no, the loss, for me is very traumatic. I've been through a lot of trauma in my life, and this one actually hurt the worst. We'd go hunting crabs, oysters, and razor clams, and he enjoyed getting out. And was nice, he helped me out here around the house, chopping wood, stacking firewood, and the like. Being from Southern California, he liked it a bit warmer and wanted to go to sunny, hot Australia. That was a dream of his. But earlier this year, his mom and my other sister took his ashes and brought him to Australia. So he was finally able to get to visit. We'd like to get some closure on this, of course. And it just would be nice to put a book into this tragedy.
Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound Executive Director Jim Fuda.
Like I always say, it takes a village. Somebody knows who did this. And it's probably somebody that may be an acquaintance of the suspect. Somebody might have some information that might not be relevant. Submit it anyway to us. And because it might be just what the detectives need to put some closure to this case.
We want to thank you again for joining us and helping us in this story. We also want to thank Jim Fuda, who's played a big role in this series. So we thank you guys very much, and we'll toss it back now to the studio.
7:50 now. Those attending World Cup matches around the country will face tough security both inside and outside the stadiums. News Nation's Xavier Walton reports from Arlington, Texas, which will feature most games of any host city.
North Texas is going to host the most World Cup matches, more than any other host city in this tournament. The extraordinary security measures and presence starts long before fans even reach the stadium, even what FIFA calls the last mile. Fans must first show a valid match ticket to access the secured perimeter surrounding the venue. Then comes the metal detectors and other airport-style screenings. Only clear bags allowed, but those are just the security measures we can see, not necessarily the ones you don't see. So officials say that there's no specific or credible threat to any of today's matches. Instead, they say security reflects the sheer size of this World Cup with 48 teams, 104 matches, and millions upon millions of fans around the world, here across the United States. But more than 400 law enforcement agencies are coordinating security at stadiums, fan festivals, team hotels, you name it, transportation hubs, and also FIFA's International Broadcast Center right here in North Texas. Federal authorities say that they have now seized or intercepted more than 300 unauthorized drones at World Cup venues across the country since the tournament started The FAA has established no drone zones, while AI-enabled cameras, license plate readers, and cybersecurity teams are all part of this just massive operation.
Officials say they're going to judge the success of this massive security undertaking on whether or not the fans remember the matches, what happens on the pitch, on the field, not necessarily security. In Arlington, Xavier Walton, News Nation.
Well, it's been the home of the New York Knicks championship run already this year. There are now possible signs that New York's Madison Square Garden could be the venue for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding.
New York City officials tell ABC News an event company has filed a permit requesting closure of the street outside Madison Square Garden from July 2nd to July 4th, a potential sign of planning for a Swift-Kelce wedding reportedly taking place July 3rd. The official said the permit application also requested permission for an exterior canopy that could be used to conceal comings and goings, and listed the size of the event between 500 and 999 people.
ABC's Aaron Katursky there.
Well, legendary singer Lionel Richie had to cut short his concert in Minnesota last night. TMZ reports he was performing his hit Dancing on the Ceiling at the Grand Casino in St. Paul. Had to take a seat after becoming dizzy. Richie is 77 and would ultimately take an unscheduled intermission. And about 30 minutes later, a band member told the crowd Richie wasn't feeling well, would not be returning. This was the first of 26 concerts scheduled as part of his tour with Earth, Wind, and Fire. So far, no word from Richie's camp on what happened or if the tour will continue.
It's 7:53. That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. And here's Chris Sullivan.
And we are definitely seeing some building volume as we push towards 8 a.m. But overall, for a Thursday, travel times are lighter than you may have anticipated. That doesn't mean you're not going to hit the brakes, because you will, but you're just going to get out of them faster. If you're coming down from the north end, we're under an hour from Everett to Bellevue, probably closer to 52 minutes. It is heavy from Canyon Park through 522, but then it doesn't really meander any further south. Just some slight hesitation through the main interchanges there through Totem Lake and Kirkland, but again, yellow on the map south of 522. For I-5, it's about 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle, maybe a little more depending on how you hit it, but the heaviest braking there is through Linwood. Across the lake, no problems. Northbound I-5 from Federal Way into Seattle. We do have the brake lights from the north end of Boeing Field into downtown, so we still have 35 minutes from South Center to downtown and about 55 all the way. Valley Freeway is under 50 minutes. We've got about 35 from Renton to Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma doesn't look bad. Most of Pierce County is in really good shape. I am still working with this crash on northbound 3, getting north of Chico Way, north of Bremerton. Not sure which lane it's in. My drivers have been reporting it involves a motorcycle. We've got about a 3.5 mile backup behind this thing. So if you're heading out of Bremerton, you might want to go the long way, heading through East Bremerton and up 303 if you're heading over and around the corner there. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Looks like we'll have cloudy skies today, a high of 69, chance of rain later this evening. That'll last into tomorrow with a high in the mid-60s. 56 right now in Seattle.
By the way, that Lionel Richie Earth, Wind, and Fire tour is coming to Climate Pledge August 3rd, so I hope he's okay.
Okay. Well, coming up in the next hour, the Supreme Court has issued 2 immigration opinions within the past hour. ABC will have the latest.
And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has details on a scary home explosion that happened on Whidbey Island yesterday. He's been speaking to neighbors in that community for the latest.
And gearing up for that Iran versus Egypt game in Seattle tomorrow night, we'll speak with a member of the Iranian-American community here in Seattle. That's on the way.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Load up the paddle boards, pack the hiking boots, and point the hood toward adventure in a Subaru Outback. Carter Subaru has the largest Subaru selection in our state with over 800 Subarus in stock. And right now you can drive home a 2026 Subaru Outback with just 0.9% APR financing. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or online at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 6/30/26.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You've got to try the new TikTok diet.
Just ask chat.
I just take blue-green algae.
Or you could trust your gut. When it comes to your health, how do you know what's right for you? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that analyzes your real-time biology to give you personalized nutrition guidance and custom supplements. Not trends, your biology.
Learn more at Viome.com/know. V as in Victor, IOME.com/KNOW. And use coupon code VIOME50 to save $50 off your purchase.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The Supreme Court handing down 2 rulings on immigration this morning. One allows the Trump administration to cancel protected status for immigrants from Haiti and Syria. The other clears the way for asylum seekers to be turned away at the U.S.-Mexico border. Search and rescue teams continue trying to find people who may be caught under rubble of buildings in Caracas, Venezuela, following 2 earthquakes that struck nearly back-to-back on Thursday. Jason Wang, an American in Venezuela, with more on what it's like there now.
It seems like it's calmed down a lot, and I'm currently actually heading east outside of Caracas into the jungles. I just wanted to be away from the city in case of aftershocks. But, life outside of Caracas seems pretty normal from what I've seen so far.
164 people were killed. The government's preferred measure of inflation shows an increase of 4.1% from last year. This is ABC News. An explosive Capitol Hill meeting on Iran and a change of heart following it. ABC's Mary Bruce has more on the fight over the War Powers Resolution, which passed the Senate Tuesday night, but then that vote was reversed last night.
Motion is not agreed to.
Senate Republicans reversing course to align with the president, rejecting a previous bipartisan rebuke of Trump's war powers. 2 Republican senators, Bill Cassidy and Rand Paul, changing their votes. The about face coming just hours after the president's meeting with Senate Republicans on Capitol Hill descended into a shouting match over the war in Iran. Trump furious, lashing out at several Republicans, including Cassidy, who previously voted to limit his war powers.
Sharp increases in prices for Apple products are coming, between $100 and $300 for each device. Apple says the increases are caused by the extraordinary surge in demand for AI memory and storage. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
8:02, here's what's happening.
Federal agents are investigating an explosion that leveled 2 homes on Whidbey Island. Luke Ducey has spoken with a neighbor. He'll join us live.
A sold-out Lumen Field watched Bosnia and Herzegovina beat Qatar 3-1 in the World Cup. Seattle's next match tomorrow, Iran against Egypt.
And Ballard's Walrus and the Carpenters open again, even as a worker strike drags on. Guests are being sent to a back entrance to avoid the picket line.
We need to check in with Sully. We have traffic every 10 minutes on Seattle's Morning News.
Yeah, I just talked to the State Patrol working this crash over north of Chico Way on northbound Highway 3 getting out of Bremerton. Good news is didn't involve a motorcycle, minor injuries though, so the rider's going to be okay, so that's certainly positive. And it looks like they're getting tows hooked up, so hopefully this backup will go away. Either way, you still have about a 15-minute delay going north on 3 out of Bremerton. I still might recommend going the long way if you need to get all the way up to Poulsbo, but so that one should be taking care of itself. On this side of the water, we're doing okay. I mean, we have heavy braking here and there, like if you're on northbound I-5 from the middle of Boeing Field, you're going to look like a typical Thursday. But behind that, it's not too bad. Overall, Federal Way to Seattle's about an hour, but 35 to more of those minutes are from South Center. Valley Freeway, really slow at the north end. Overall, 48 minutes to make that drive. Renton to Bellevue's under 40, so that's good. Lake Bridges are fine. 18 over Tiger Mountain is manageable. And coming down from the north end, really not much at all. Until you get to Linwood, then you hit the brakes on I-5 through Shoreline, and for 405, it's about Canyon Park down. 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
8:03 on the Thursday, June 25th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
New this morning, a neighbor tells KIRO News Radio she thinks fireworks caused a home to explode on Whidbey Island yesterday.
3 firefighters are recovering after being injured by the blast. Investigators say there's still unexploded ordnance inside the home.
Let's get the latest now. Live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, this morning, ATF agents are heading to that scene to start their investigation. This morning, I talked with Tanya, who lives right next door to the home that exploded. Firefighters say that explosion caused another 2 homes to catch fire. One of them was gutted. Well, Tanya was driving home and saw her house on fire. Her 5 dogs were inside, she tells me, and firefighters were able to rescue them and get them to a veterinarian. They're doing okay right now, she tells me. As for a potential cause, there is no official cause, let's say that, but this is what Tanya tells me she has seen at her neighbor's home.
Oh, I'm sure it's the fireworks. He bought a truckload last year, brought it in over to Ocean Pass in a semi-truck, and he wanted to offload it on our property. Said no. There was a pallet in the middle of the street. I guess yesterday he had, I think, 3 or 4 delivered.
If you're watching on our YouTube feed, we have a map of where this happened in the Greenbank neighborhood. Also, a photo from firefighters of the scene. You can see there's just debris all over Smuggler's Cove Road. 2 fire chiefs and 1 firefighter from Central Whidbey Island Fire and Rescue and South Whidbey Fire EMS were rushed to a hospital with blast injuries. They are in stable condition. A blast injury could be injuries from debris hitting them, ear damage, a concussion, gastrointestinal injuries from the concussion of the blast itself. There's also something really scary called blast lung, which are bruised lungs or an air embolism, which is an air bubble in the bloodstream. Let's hope it's not that because they are in stable condition. As for Tanya, who helps run a food pantry out of her home, well, this is really, really bad news.
We're devastated by this. We can't get back into our home. We just had a flood on Mother's Day, and we have a lot going on right now.
So obviously the investigation continues, waiting for an official cause, but we're shedding some light on what may have happened there on Whidbey Island. This story will continue throughout the day. Charlie, Manda?
Yeah, a couple questions I think are really key that need to be answered. If those were fireworks, did he have a permit for them?
My first thought.
And also, firefighters were on the scene before this large explosion. I wonder what the call out was initially as well.
Fire. There was a 911 report of a fire. Thank you for reminding me because I didn't put that in the story. But as soon as firefighters got there, boom, they say, and that sent 3 of them immediately to the hospital.
What a
And
wild scene.
did she say it was a semi full of fireworks?
Semi-truck full, in her words, of fireworks.
And
pallets and pallets.
3 or 4 pallets, she says, were seen yesterday. So,
Yes.
yeah, a lot more to go here, Luke. Thanks for covering it this morning. It's 8:07.
A West Seattle shooting overnight left a 17-year-old injured and police searching for suspects. Seattle police say multiple 911 calls reported rapid gunfire in the High Point neighborhood after midnight. The teen was found with a gunshot wound to the hip area. He was taken to Harborview in serious but stable condition. Investigators say a suspect vehicle was later found crashed nearby. Several people ran. Police also report gunfire struck multiple vehicles and buildings.
Full transcript of Bill Gates' testimony before the House Oversight Committee regarding Jeffrey Epstein has now been released. It shows Gates told the committee that Epstein was trying to blackmail him about his extramarital affairs. More now from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Gates said he knew Epstein was a sex offender, but hoped he would introduce him to wealthy people who could help the Gates Foundation. Gates said he met Tom Pritzker, Mort Zuckerman, and Leon Black. None donated, and Gates told the committee the Epstein brokered meetings were a dead end.
Gates also told the committee he resisted a social relationship with Epstein.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
So I've been working on the stereo system inside my pickup truck. And the reason I bring that up is the bass wasn't coming through. I was having to do all this, messing around with the tuner. Finally figured out this is the song I need to play in order to test out the bass.
Yeah.
Guess what? I figured it out.
Good job.
Another one bites the dust. 8:08 here on Seattle's Morning News. Glad to have you here with us on Thursday, June 25th.
Yep, Chris Sullivan is here, keeping an eye on traffic for us. Producer David Burbank in the studio. Nick Kreisha running the board and picking the music.
Yeah, coming up this hour, there are a lot of conflicting feelings for Iranian Americans right now as Seattle is getting ready to host the Iranian soccer team tomorrow in the World Cup match against Egypt.
Also, G. Scott is going to stop by with the latest World Cup buzz. By the way, we're going to be joined by one of our listeners, Layla Faraj. She's going to join the show to share her experience.
It's 8:09 here on Seattle's Morning News. Bosnia's 3-1 blowout against Qatar was much more than just a sports win. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery explains.
I mean, we woke up at 6:45. We had coffee. We took the link to Pier 62, and we hiked to the stadium, and it was amazing.
Ina flew in from San Francisco, one of a huge group of Bosnia fans, all from the same city, Du Bois.
Marvelous, fantastic, amazing, proud.
These families fled the war in the 90s to England, Germany, and the USA, but they stick together, and they knew as soon as Bosnia qualified that they were going to follow the team as far as they can go.
We're all jittery.
And we were all jittery, and then my dad, who moved here when I was 4 years old, he was crying the whole time.
30 years ago, Rusmir was a prisoner of war in a concentration camp. Today, he's ready to party.
Yeah, there are more people coming in, and probably it's going to be around 25 to 30 more people to join our party right now.
Just for the after party
Just for the after party, yeah. Just from one city in Boston.
All night long.
We're never going to stop until we got to the finals of this World Cup.
And if anyone's selling tickets to the next game, I know some Bosnian fans in the market. In Seattle, Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
SeaTac Airport set a record for passenger volume 3 times in the last week, thanks to fans coming and going for the World Cup. In response, the TSA has enhanced airport security, while U.S. air marshals are patrolling the skies for drones above Seattle Stadium. The TSA's Adam Stahl says they've also seen an uptick in Kraft's new travel-size bottles of ranch dressing.
We're seeing both companies and travelers take advantage of it. Again, it's all in good fun, and it really showcases the pride in America that we have, both at TSA, but also across the department, across the government.
There are 3 more games scheduled to be played at Seattle Stadium.
This is all a big con by Big Mayo. I'm on to them.
Of all the things to
Ranch
glom
dressing.
onto.
Starting July 1st, you'll face higher penalties for speeding in work zones. WashDOT says first-time violations will now come with a $125 fine. That's up from a warning. Repeat offenses remain at $248. Change follows more than a year of enforcement, with speed cameras being used over 900 times and issuing 85,000 infractions statewide. The cameras only operate when crews are present, right, Sully?
Yep. Going to do a big little bit more of that on my choke point on Tuesday, in addition to the other rules that are changing on July 1st, like another increase in the gas tax.
Oh, hooray.
Just in time to drive for the 4th of July.
All right.
Freedom!
Stand by. We'll get back to you for traffic. First, to check on the weather at 8:12. Cloudy today. Rain late to 69 hour high for today. Just a light breeze. For tomorrow, rainy and breezy and 64. For the weekend, you might get a little wet. Scattered showers on Saturday. Isolated showers Sunday. And highs will be in the mid-60s. Overnight lows in the mid-50s. Right now in Seattle, cloudy skies and 58. And it's time for a check on traffic. For that, we get back to Sully.
And we've added about 5 more minutes to our drive coming up from Federal Way to Seattle. We've pushed up to about an hour now, with 40 of those minutes from South Center. So those last couple of miles from the middle of Boeing Field all the way past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown are going to be pretty rough. It's been pretty heavy there this morning, but we've added 5 more minutes. It's a good thing that it's pretty quiet from Federal Way up to South Center, but overall the drive is an hour now. Valley Freeway, under 50 minutes, probably closer to 45 with the heaviest brake lights there. Right at the north end from about 180th on in. It's really not too bad in Auburn, which is pretty good. And most of Pierce County's in fine shape. Olympia to Tacoma is only running around 40 minutes. We have the Lake Bridges in very good shape as well. Coming down from the north end, clean drive from Arlington to Marysville to Everett, all the way down to Linwood. But that's where you see the brake lights, southbound 5 there past 196 through the construction zone there. If you forgot what they're doing or you missed my choke point from about a month ago, they're building a new freeway overpass, a brand new bridge there connecting either side of Linwood there. So plan on about 50 minutes from Everett down into Seattle, about 55 to an hour from Everett to Bellevue with the heaviest brake lights there from Canyon Park down through 522. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Well, another big World Cup match in Seattle tomorrow, scheduled between Egypt and Iran. The match goes beyond sports, of course, as the U.S. and Iran continue to struggle and negotiate a peace deal to end the war in the Middle East.
Kind of a confusing time for Iranian Americans here in Seattle. Let's check in with one of our own. Layla Farange is a KIRO listener and Seattle business owner, and she joins us live in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Will you be watching tomorrow?
Of course. I'm going to the game with my family.
Oh, how exciting.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You immigrated to the United States at some point. What's your backstory, Layla?
So I moved to Washington 30 years ago. I was 22 years old. I came straight from Tehran to New York and then Seattle. It was, in the beginning, it was tough learning the language, and I had to go to college, take the bus. Everything was new, but I did it. I'm raising my kids here.
Yeah.
I have an amazing husband, works for Boeing for 39 years. Kids are grown. They're out of the house now. Everything is good.
Is it work that brought you to Seattle?
No. I got married, fall in love with my husband, and I just came.
Just came.
Yes.
Can you maybe describe what it was like living in Iran?
So I was 6 years old when the revolution happened. And I have vague memories about it because I was very young. But I do remember chaos in the street of Tehran. And not after 3 years, war between Iran and Iraq broke. And I was 9 years old. I exactly remember where I was. It was 11 o'clock. I was at the elementary. I know where I was wearing that day. And they start bombing Tehran. And I'm telling you, and I have goosebumps all over my body. So I thought, my family is gone. So at school, they told us, you can go home now. So I was running towards our house, and I saw the house is attacked. Everything is fine. So, but the bombing was keep going. And I was only 9 years old, and my dad was holding me. I was shaking so hard. I was scared. I didn't know any better. But my wish that time was, God, if you are going to kill us all together. I don't want to be left alone without my family. I always was attaching to my mom and dad and my siblings because I didn't want to, a bomb is coming. missiles were coming to Tehran. So that was my wish to all of us, if we were going to be dying all together, because I was just 9 years old. So that happened for 8 years and was very traumatizing. So the dead bodies were coming to Tehran, and they were showcasing it. And
did you say you were there for 8 years of it?
Yes, the entire time it was war between Iran and Iraq, I was there. And and after 8 years, it was a peace deal between two countries. And after that got worse than before. The food, you couldn't find food. You have to wait in lines to get meat or milk and all that stuff. But Iranian peoples are resilient. Mm-hmm. And we are under sanction for 47 years. But, they deal with it. They go at it. They, make everything themselves. And then, going to school, it was kind of nightmarish. So we had to cover ourselves, head to toe. And they were measuring our pants to not be, wider than they wanted. And if we were putting our head up under our scarf, they were sending us home to go, fix your hair. And, it's just too much pressure from a school and government to do whatever they want us to do. And I didn't go to university because I didn't get in. It was very hard to get in. And then I got married and came to a state.
And so when we were talking with you at the outset of the war, Layla, you were encouraged. You were hoping that a change was about to come to the nation you love. And that change doesn't appear to be coming. How are you feeling now?
I'm very saddened. I was very hopeful. I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful because this deal they're doing is not a done deal yet. And the people of Iran, they need freedom and they need help from outside. They're not armed. They have no voice. So we were doing protests here almost every week. It still exists. Mm-hmm. So to be voice of Iranian people. So they cut internet for over 60 days. They didn't have any connection to outside. So that was my job, to be their voice. And we did it. I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful something is going to happen. And I don't know who are they dealing with. The Arakchi and Ghalibaf, I don't know who these people are. So Ghalibaf, when many years ago the Green Revolution happened, so this guy took some of the students, university students, they were protesting. He himself dropped them from the buildings. This exists. You can go to YouTube and see it. There is evidence for it. So they are evil. I don't know how you can deal and, make any sense out of this.
Do you still have family there, and do you visit?
Yes. So the last time I visited, it was 8 years ago. I went to visit my mom, and then she passed away during the COVID. I haven't gone back to even visit the graveyard yet. I do some protests here. I get talks against the regime, so I don't want to go back because it's not safe for me to go back.
At least not yet.
Not yet.
The hope is.
I'm hopeful.
So bring us to tomorrow, because tomorrow I understand a lot of the Persian community is going to be coming out for the game. What are you looking forward to? Because this is the nation you can't even go visit right now, but here they are playing in your own backyard.
I'm so excited. We got our tickets long time ago, 4 tickets, expensive tickets, but we are going because this is not going to happen again. Iran coming to U.S. for World Cup, it's not going to happen. So we decided to go, and then FIFA banned the original flag, lion and sun flag. So I'm doing the loophole, learn from our government.
Okay.
There is loopholes. So I bought a flag, half United States flag and half lion and sun flag. So I'm taking that with me, and it's LGBTQ tomorrow. So we have another one flag, LGBTQ, and lion and sun symbol in the middle. So hopefully we can get everything inside. But soccer, football in Iran is such a big deal. So when the teams are playing, the streets are empty. Everybody watches soccer. It's a great deal over there. And hopefully tomorrow we're going to enjoy the game. I know some people are protesting outside the stadium. And I hope it's peaceful.
The streets will not be empty. You've seen the watch parties all over the city, right?
Yes. Very exciting game.
Okay, and are you guys going to be partying like all these other countries are coming out?
Of course, I bought some flares, I bought horn. Because, I want to cheer my team. This is the Iran team. It's Iran, the name Iran. We are cheering for our country.
What a moment of unity for you.
Yes, I'm excited. So we'll see.
All right. Well, it's an ancient culture in Iran. This, we all hope, is just a bump in the road for you. And maybe one day soon, I know the damage is done, but maybe one day soon you will be able to visit home, Layla.
I want to visit home. It's a beautiful country with great culture. Food is amazing. And people are amazing. Well-educated country. I hope someday people can go visit. Right now, even I can go.
Yeah.
Speaking of food, the newsroom went nuts when they opened the boxes you brought. I haven't seen yet, but what did you bring?
So I brought some sweets because Iranians, they never go anywhere empty-handed. That's our culture. So that's my favorite pastry shop, Bella Pastry in Bellevue. And so I brought some for you guys to share.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for everything you all do for state of Washington, for downtown. I'm part of business. I'm a business owner downtown. I love this town with every ounce of my body, and it's going in the right direction. We are doing great. So
I hope you have a wonderful time tomorrow.
Oh, thank you so much.
I can't wait to see pictures. You'll send some our way,
and
right?
It's so nice to meet you in person finally. Long time texter.
Yeah. Layla Faraj, thank you. It's 8:23.
Your shop better be open tomorrow.
It is open.
Who'd you get to fill in for you there? I'm glad that it's going to be open.
Because game is at 8
Oh, that's
p.m.
right. It's a night game. Yes, there we go. Still working on game day. I love it, Layla.
Sully, we need to check on traffic.
And we've got a crash I do want to talk about. Happened just in the last 10 minutes or so. Northbound I-5, just before Seneca. So that's why we're backed up about 6 miles now from the middle of Boeing Field and really clamping down up to about 45 minutes out of South Center. So that's about a 15-minute delay over what you might expect. And because of this, the West Seattle Bridge is kind of caught up in it as well. Hope it doesn't look too terrible, but that's not an easy spot to get a tow to. So we're probably going to be dealing with this for a while. It's an hour and 10 minutes total from Federal Way to Seattle. Valley Freeway thinning out, back under 45 minutes there, back under 40 from Renton to Bellevue. Lake bridges are fine. Coming down from the north end, kind of an average to better than average day on I-5, really just slowing at 196. But after that, pretty good all the way. 45 minutes Everett to Seattle, about 55 Everett to Bellevue. So for a Thursday, that's a win. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Much cooler for today. We're going to stay cloudy. Rain might arrive late today, 69-hour high as opposed to yesterday's almost 90. For tomorrow, Friday, rainy, breezy, 64. Saturday and Sunday could see a few showers here and there with highs in the mid-60s. Right now, it's cloudy and 58 in Seattle.
Day's top headlines on the way. And Sully, you have a choke point.
Yeah, I do. Going to think of a good way not to ruin your 4th of July holiday if you're heading to the beach. I'll give you some tips on how to drive and do it safely.
Terrific. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Renton police investigating a shooting that happened just after midnight.
Engaging conversation.
It's just indefensible. The mayor's communications team should be better.
Traffic.
A full closure now, southbound 509 at Alexander Avenue.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. Big's killer whale stole the show this week with several families gathering for an epic tea party. Naturalists watched the T65As and T64Bs speeding in to meet up with the T46B family, erupting into breaches, spy hops, and nonstop socializing. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, crews even dropped the hydrophone to listen in as the orcas vocalized. Elsewhere, the T125As, T100s, and T124As cruised the waters too. Unforgettable moments for everyone aboard. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend and Port Angeles on the Olympic Peninsula. Orcas, humpbacks, gray whales, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Every time I pull up to a gas pump, I find myself doing the math. How much is this going to cost today? If the pain at the pump has you thinking about a hybrid or electric vehicle, start your search at Carter Subaru. You'll find a great selection of hybrid and electric models, plus more than 800 Subarus in stock, the largest Subaru inventory in Washington. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or online at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 6/30/26.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. If your air conditioner is barely hanging on, CM Heating has one of the best offers I've heard this summer. Right now, you can get any size high-efficiency AC system for just $179.99 a month with zero upfront cost. And here's the game changer. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program includes lifetime repairs, annual maintenance, and even filters at no additional charge ever. Go to cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate online today.
License number CMHEAHL 751LW.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better, live stronger. Start now.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. ClosetsByDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:30. Breaking news this morning. morning, a federal judge has blocked President Trump's executive order aimed at creating a federal voter list and restricting mail ballots.
U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani ruled today in favor of nearly 24 states, including Washington, saying the order unconstitutionally violates the separation of powers. The ruling halts the policy for the upcoming midterm election cycle. The order would have required a national voter database and limited the Postal Service mail ballot delivery to voters on that list. This is clearly a developing story and likely to be appealed.
We are learning the tank that had imploded in Longview had previous problems. We get to the update from KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson.
Less than 3 weeks before 11 people were killed from the implosion at the Nippon Dynawave plant in Longview, the Washington Department of Labor and Industries got this voicemail.
I have some questions/concerns about some safety situations at Nippon Dynawave.
Well, UW professor Marty Cohen says it's a hard thing to follow up on before the blast.
There's no specific information. What are they going to do?
He says it is something that will be a part of the implosion investigation.
After being fired amid allegations of a recruiting violation, Brandon Roy is back as head coach for his alma mater, Garfield High School.
Roy started his basketball career at Garfield, and the school will officially welcome him home again this afternoon. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has the update.
Yeah, and no doubt there will be a lot of questions about those recruiting allegations when Roy and Garfield High hold a press conference at 1 o'clock today. That's when it's scheduled. Roy is not only one of Garfield High School's and Seattle's biggest names, leading Garfield to 3 state championships. He, of course, was one of the NBA's biggest names, a first-round draft pick out of UW by the Trailblazers. He was NBA's Rookie of the Year. He was a 3-time All-Star. Well, he was fired because he was allegedly part of a recruiting push involving an MBA agent that offered a student an apartment, a car, and money if he transferred to Garfield. Roy denied those allegations and says he was not fired, pointing out that he was invited to reapply for his job. Looks like he got the job. The only comment from Seattle Public Schools at the time was a statement that simply said Garfield High School decided to go in a different direction. The governing body for high school sports, the WIAA, also looked into the alleged recruiting violation. Certainly a lot of questions again for the school and for Roy this afternoon. Let's see what kind of answers they have for those questions. But Roy's stance is, again, he did nothing wrong, and now he's back coaching at Garfield High School.
Okay, I look forward to hearing more about that press conference. Thank you, Luke. It's 8:33.
That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes for you. What do you have for us?
Well, we've got about a 6-mile backup, Manda, on northbound I-5 as we make our way from the middle of Boeing Field all the way past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Turns out we actually had 2 issues. We had the HOV lane blocked between the West Seattle Bridge and I-90. That has cleared. And then we're still working with this crash on the right lane right after Seneca, which is kind of adding to things. So it's an hour and 10 minutes total to go from Federal Way to Seattle, with 45 of those minutes from South Center. So that's about 15 minutes slower than you might have expected. Good news is getting up through Federal Way up into South Center is a pretty good drive. Valley Freeway back down to 40 minutes. It looks really good. Only at the north end are you going to hit the brakes there, tying into 405, and then 405 itself running right around 35 minutes. Lake bridges are fine. Coming down from the north end, 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle, and about 50 from Everett into Bellevue. Brake lights there through Canyon Park. And for those of you into and through the Monroe area, right there at Stewart Street, there as we, South Lewis Street, there, what is basically 203 getting into Monroe. They've been working with a house fire there right near Main Street, and has some of the roads in that corridor blocked. But it looks like they have reopened 203. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Looks like we'll be cloudy today. A chance of showers later on. High of 69 today, mid-60s tomorrow with rain. On Saturday, scattered showers and sunbreaks, 65, and a few sunbreaks and showers on Sunday as well, 65, the high then. Today, right now, it's 57 in Seattle.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
It's 8:35. Well, 4th of July, Saturday, next Saturday. Don't want to scare you. A lot of people expected to head to the coast to celebrate the country's 250th birthday.
Don't ruin the celebration by getting stuck in the sand and damaging your car. Sully, you're here with some beach driving tips.
Yeah, just something that everyone needs to be aware of. I mean, I've been driving on the beach all my life. If you've never done it, it's ridiculously fun. But it comes with a lot of responsibility, and it comes with some pretty simple tips that you need to do to make sure you get through it okay. And if you're watching on our YouTube live feed, here's a picture, video Holly and I shot a couple of years ago, me driving on the beach. I'm doing some commentary. That's not on this one. It is up on mynorthwest.com. But because people get stuck routinely. I mean, last weekend I saw a couple people stuck near on the northern Oregon coast where you can drive. An RV tried to go through the soft sand to get down there. Closed that approach for 4 hours. And then some poor sucker parked his really nice pickup truck too close to the water, went around, hung around, didn't realize that the tide came in. Shocking, tide came in. Before he knew it, the car was buried in water. And, it was terrible. So here's some basics. Front-wheel drives, don't even bother. I mean, you'll be fine if you can make it to the sand, the hard-packed sand on the breach, but getting through those ruts on the approaches just doesn't make any sense. You got no clearance, and you don't have the power or the torque to make it happen. Same goes for RVs or vans or for people towing trailers. That I don't understand. I've lost count of how many trailers I've seen or tried to help to try to move out of the beach. So if you do have appropriate vehicles to get through the ruts, like four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, first thing you need to do, let air out of your tires before you drive, because that means you get a little more surface area on the tires.
Not all the air.
No, not all the air. Just a little bit to make the tires a little flatter. And then, of course, don't forget to fill them back up once you get off the breach. Longtime listener, KIRO radio listener, and friend of Seattle's Morning News, Paul Nee, volunteers with Long Beach Peninsula 4x4 Rescue, a group that gets people out of the sand for free. He has this advice for drivers who even have those four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive versus four-wheel drive. They are not the same. If you have four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive and you're on the beach, disengage your traction control. That will get you stuck faster than anything.
Check your car's specs before driving on the beach to make sure it's set up properly, because in a lot of cases, the car might be fighting what it is that you're trying to do. You should also carry a small camp shovel and a flat piece of wood or maybe a pizza box, just in case, so you can kind of help yourself get out of trouble. As you enter the soft sand on an approach, pick a good line, keep your speed consistent, but don't go too fast. Momentum here is your friend. If you're on the hard sand, watch your speed. If you're driving on the Washington coast, it's state highway. Normal rules apply. 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. Here's State Park Ranger David Lynn talking.
Most people realize when they get out here that they shouldn't do some of the things that they do, spinning in circles, fishtailing, those sort of things. People say, oh, it's the beach, I thought it was okay, but somewhere down inside they kind of probably knew that was not cool.
Drive as far away from the water as you can. Follow the tracks in the sand. Do not drive on shiny sand. And watch for dogs and young children. They are very unpredictable and usually not paying attention to the cars going around. When you do park your car up into the softer sand away from the water, and always point your nose toward the water so you can see what's coming in. The ocean is undefeated. If the tide stops coming in and out, we've got bigger problems to worry about, but it hasn't done that yet. Here's what you should do if you have to stop on the sand.
Don't slam on your brakes. Don't stop with your brakes unless you absolutely have to. Let yourself roll to a stop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What happens when you slam on your brakes, it pushes the sand in a mound in front of your tires, and then you're fighting that. And if you're a front-wheel drive vehicle, you're probably going to get stuck.
If you do get stuck and you're on the Long Beach Peninsula, you can reach out to that four-wheel drive rescue club. I've got a link to their page and their phone number up at mynorthwest.com. They'll get you out for free, though tips are appreciated. If you're going to be driving on the northern Oregon coast, there's a similar group there, a bunch of volunteers, called the Clatsop County Sons of Beaches.
I don't think you can say that.
I just did. The Clatsop County Sons of Beaches. Their link is also up at mynorthwest.com. Also some volunteers. They do this for free. Again, tipping is great. So remember, beach driving's a blast, but you got to be responsible. You got to be smart. You don't want to ruin your weekend or everybody else's by getting stuck or having your car end up in the surf.
It maybe goes without saying, only drive on the beach where you're allowed to drive on the beach.
That
because
is also
a lot of sections you cannot do that.
Yeah, so watch very closely. On the Long Beach Peninsula, for instance, they have a restricted zone between Seaview and Long Beach and at the north end, north of Ocean Park. So you've got to watch those rules. They do that for a reason, and you are going to get a pretty significant ticket.
All right. Well, traffic is next. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
It is summertime, which means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, fun with the family. And Brad, I'll bet it's easier to pay for with free checking from WaFd Bank.
That's right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Hey, you'll also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated the best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me more about this card control feature I've heard so much about.
Dave, you can view transactions for individual cards, set controls and alerts, and if you forget your card at the restaurant, you can instantly turn it off while you go back to get it. You'll also have access to free tools like Zelle, mobile check deposit, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And don't forget, you can choose from some great-looking debit cards, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com and open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify a key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
AC acting up? Don't assume the worst. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first and only replaces if it makes sense. If you do need a new one, ask about an ultra-efficient heat pump and get real pricing in 60 seconds. Call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
It's 8:43. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And we are enjoying a pretty good drive with one exception, and that's the northbound I-5 corridor from the middle of Boeing Field on up into downtown. We had a crash that blocked the HOV lane right before I-90, and then we still are working one in the right lane near Seneca, and we have a 50-minute trip just from South Center into downtown. That is a 15-minute delay, maybe even 20 minutes as you make your way into downtown. Overall, the drive is about an hour and 15 minutes to go from Federal Way to Seattle. So big-time delays on that corridor. West Seattle Bridge definitely caught up in this. It's a bumper-to-bumper coming down the high-rise as you work your way over to I-5. Rest of the map, though, looks pretty good. I mean, Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. Tacoma itself is quiet. Puyallup to Renton is only running about 42 minutes. Renton to Bellevue's under 40, probably closer to 35. Lake Bridges are fine. Southbound I-5 has a little bit of braking through Mount Lake Terrace. Ooh, looks like we might have a new crash there right as you approach the transit center by the Nile Golf Course. I'll have more for you on that one in 10 minutes because we just kind of went all red there. We were back down to 40 from Everett to Seattle, but I think that's out of date. We've got about 45 to 50 from Everett into Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, we're going to stay cloudy for a change. Rain is a possibility later today, 69 our high. For tomorrow, we're going to get pretty wet. It looks like a rainy, breezy Friday, 64. Through the weekend, just scattered showers, nothing too threatening. More so on Saturday. Should dry out by Sunday. Highs in the mid-60s for both days. Right now, it's cloudy and 58 in Seattle.
Coming up, G. Scott stops by. He's been working the past 3 World Cup matches in Seattle, 3 more to go. He has an update on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
RV buyers save thousands at the 10th Annual Summer RV Blowout Sale, June 18th through the 28th at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds. Top manufacturers with every floor plan imaginable, exclusive dealer rebates, huge discounts on new and used models, factory reps on site, enjoy free lunch lunch, plus a year's worth of free camping. The 10th annual Summer RV Blowout Sale, June 18th through the 28th at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds in Monroe. Hosted by Open Road RV. Free parking and admission.
You pay what we pay. Ford employee pricing is on now at Kendall Ford of Marysville. From Ford trucks and SUVs to Broncos, Mustangs, and more. Get in on incredible savings on select 2025 and 2026 Fords and get real American value. Bring on those warmer weather adventures in a new Ford and save thousands. Take those adventures off-road in a new 2025 Ford Bronco Badlands 4x4 and save over $7,100 off MSRP. Feel the all-electric exhilaration of a new all-wheel drive 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT. Now over $11,500 off MSRP. With Ford employee pricing, you can buy like an employee and save like an employee. Get in on the savings and stop by Kendall Ford of Marysville today. Kendall, let's start something great.
VIN number 1F SLB 83112 and 3F SMA 54938. All factory rebates subject to change. Prices not include taxes, title, or license. Subject to prior sales. See dealer for details. Offer expires 6/30/26.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
If you really want to do this correctly, then you get to enjoy every day of retirement like it's a Saturday. And if you don't, it's a Monday for the rest of your life.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth, Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, hey, there he is, fresh off being in front of tens of thousands of adoring fans of World Cup soccer. G. Scott is here.
Hey.
It's nice to see you. You've been a little busy.
You know, did I admit to you guys yesterday
that you were tired?
Yeah.
You're never tired.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's something I don't. But today feels different, and I think that it's because part of my routine came back. And so when you get a little bit of your routine, it kind of felt familiar. I kind of felt good, if you will. So it feels good to be back. It feels good to be back actually here at the station in studio. That feels good, too.
Tell us what it's been like to be at these matches.
So every match has been different. There's been 3 so far. The first one was Egypt against Belgium. Okay, that was different in its own right. Egypt is a team that has never, at that point, had never won a World Cup, and it was also the first ever men's World Cup here on Seattle soil, the first World Cup in the United States since 32 years ago. Yeah. So there was a lot of nostalgia, a lot of like, oh my goodness, it's happening right now, and there was a tie. Then it was USA, Australia. That was insane. It was crazy. Like, I don't know. I mean, the Aussies were there, but boy, it was all Team USA from front to back. And then yesterday, I want to talk about yesterday because Bosnia and Herzegovina, they played against Qatar.
Damn,
they won.
Quite a crowd.
The intensity, the passion was just crazy. And, you know, obviously we have to do our homework before we do these matches. And you're talking about Bosnia and Herzegovina, that team has 40-year-old Edin Janko on there. And then you have the young buck, Karim Adabekovic. He's 18, so you have the old dog and the new dog on this team right here. But then you got to go to the history. I was talking with this guy he's from over there. You know, you guys go back to what happened 30 years ago. I mean, Bosnia, they were just struggling to continue being. Like, they weren't even going to be here anymore. All
Civil
the
war.
wars that was happening during that time. And so to talk to this gentleman about that, and he was just emotional about, like, that was 30 years ago. And here we are today playing in front of the world, right here in Seattle. And he was like, man, I'm just so grateful to have my family here. And I think that, again, I've been a part of a lot of sporting events. What I love about this is not necessarily which one is better. It's like being around different cultures and saying, well, which culture's better? Well, that's an argument that people have, unfortunately. This is about, it's just beautiful. It's different.
It
right?
feels like unifying.
It's like, man, they had the flags going yesterday and the energy and the intensity, and even after the match, and I don't care. They still in their seats, just still going. So I'm filming all around, and they just weren't leaving. They just meant like, look here, G, I paid a lot for this ticket. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stand right here.
And it's win or lose. Like,
right. And so that's the thing. Whoever won that got to advance, and now they are going to advance, and probably they're going to be playing in San Francisco on July 1st against who? Team USA. And then whoever the winner is of that match, well, guess where they come? Here. Come back here on July 6th here, and that's going to be crazy.
It might be even crazier than the Australia-USA match.
Oh, no, it would be.
Yeah.
No, it would be.
USA is favored, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, USA, they kind of getting favored. So we'll see. That match is going to happen. But, look, I think that everything that has been said about what is happening in Seattle, and I know that there are a lot of people saying, well, good, you should keep it that way. I mean, look, I've said this before. Well, remember when you were younger and you had company come over? Did your parents ever just start acting different? Like, hey, I need you to clean this. Hey, I need you to clean that. I need you to throw it in the closet, right? Right? Because that's usually what you do. You throw it in the closet. So for the people that say, can we keep it clean? Okay. Let's work on policies to help clean them. So the next time we come up with a policy to help people out, I don't want you to be like, no, but I thought you wanted it clean. You see, you can't just throw things in the closet. You got to actually do something about it, because if you open up the closet, everything falls out, and you're like, hey, how come we can't keep the house clean like this whenever a company's not here?
I've had friends, especially in college, they would put their dirty dishes in their oven. To hide it.
And then forget that they're in there and turn on the oven.
Fortunately that didn't happen. But yeah, that's what people do a lot of time. Hey, we're almost out of time, but I was at the RV dealership yesterday getting my rig worked on, and this is the last place you would expect to see World Cup soccer, and they had it on right outside the shop for the workers to be watching. What do you think? Are we at a turning point here for soccer in America in terms of its popularity? Nope.
It's just a spectacle now.
Is it just the vibes right now?
See, here's the thing. I don't cater to the crowd. I'm going to come on here and tell you guys the truth. I'm not going to come on here and be like, yep, this is the turning corner. This is where soccer. Nope.
The second American football comes back, it's all
DB, when I say the second, bruh, the second it comes back. Now, wait a minute. Have I been enjoying this? Oh, my goodness. It has been the best. It reminds me of that golf retreat that some guys go on, and they go on that golf retreat, and they have a real good time on that golf retreat. But then they got to come home. And then when they come home, they go back to life.
What's louder, a match or a Seahawks game?
Apples, oranges.
No, okay.
Apples, oranges. I would say.
There's not a lot of singing at a Seahawks game.
How about this? There's more passion and more pent-up energy in soccer with anticipation, considering when a match is 1-1 or 0-0. But football, rah, 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 rah.
Yep. All right, look at the time. You may be excused. Right, nice to see you.
Okay, Sully, take it away.
And we now have 2 lanes blocked on southbound I-5 and Mount Lake Terrace. Approaching the Edmonds exit there, the HOV lane and the left general purpose lane are blocked, and we are now backed up all the way to 196th coming out of Linwood. We're up to an hour now from Everett into Seattle, and it's all in that 3 to 4 mile stretch from Linwood down past the scene, because once you're through that, it's a pretty good drive. Looking at 50 minutes from Everett into the Bellevue area. Looking at northbound I-5, still struggling with a 5 mile backup getting into downtown. town with this crash near Seneca. We have an hour and 10-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle with 50 of those minutes from South Center. That is a 15-minute delay. Lake bridges are fine. Renton to Bellevue is about 35 minutes. The rest of the map looking pretty good. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Much cooler. We're going to stay cloudy today. Some rain a possibility by late in the day. 69 the high. Tomorrow, rainy and breezy. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 58.
G and Ursula show next with more on the breaking news from the past hour that a federal judge has blocked the president's executive order aimed at creating a federal voter list and restricting mail ballots.
You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Hey, Brock Heward here with my buddy Shannon O'Kelly from IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, I get so used to hearing our pro teams in town talk about talent acquisition, being the lifeblood of their teams. At IRG, how important is talent acquisition for you?
Brock, talent acquisition is everything. Here at IRG, we are looking for those people that want to be the best and the brightest. You know, our strength here at IRG is what I call our human capital. And our clinicians here at IRG are great, but we expect greatness. We provide them with ample mentorship opportunities, continuing education, advanced certification payment, in addition to providing Con Ed. When they receive advanced certifications, we also increase their base salary because they've improved themselves as a professional. They've improved their ability to provide great care. And that's what it's all about here at IRG. Great care. We want the best and brightest.
With over 40 convenient locations, IRG is in your neighborhood. Find all the details at irgpt.com.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Guys, it's Men's Health Month at Revive Seattle. Get a free comprehensive wellness panel. It checks your testosterone, blood